5 minutes after 6 a.m. Good morning, everybody. My name is Nachum Siegel. Welcome to a Friday Erev Shabbos, and this is your Jewish Moments in the Morning radio program. It's one of the only times that I feel I'm in competition with real competition. Usually, in any environment, when there are people around, when we're at an event, etc., I don't have trouble thinking and
concentrating?
Well, concentrating on the fact that we are, essentially still the main attraction.
Right.
Well, we come to NCSY Kollel here in Beit Meir, and for some reason I feel like we're playing second fiddle, if you will, to all the other things that are happening here in the base medrash at NCSY Kollel, such as all the Torah study that's going on.
Yeah, well, to be honest, we should play second fiddle to the Torah study that's going on.
All right, so it takes time for me to get used to that.
I hear
How
that.
much time do we have? How long is a typical JM and the AM program?
3 hours.
Okay, so I have some time to
3 hours, 1 minute.
drift into that mentality. It may take me 3 hours, frankly.
It's all good.
It's Erev Shabbos Nachamu. Can you believe it? We've gotten to Shabbos Nachamu. When we were in the midst of the 9 days, we wondered, will all this finally come to an end? Will there be a time again when we can wash our clothes and eat meat and drink wine and have a quote-unquote normal day? Is that possible? And sure enough, you know what happened? Last Sunday was Tisha B'Av, and all of a sudden, things start transforming. And then we build up to Shabbos Nachamu. After all, it is Shabbos Nachamu that's the definitive way of getting back to normal. And Shabbos Nachamu starts tonight. It's Erev Shabbos Parshas V'Eschanan. Candle lighting in the New York area. After all, we are still a quote-unquote New York-centric global network. 7:56. Some of you may not think that's a big deal. After all, 7:56
plenty of time to make
is
Shabbos.
relatively late. If one adds the 18 minutes, you get somewhere around, 8:10, 8:15. And you have plenty of time. But, on journeys, sometimes you want to make sure that things land on time, that people reach your destination on time. So this Shabbos, even though normally during the summer, candlelighting time is not a great concern of mine. Even if I'm working in the studio late, I still end up home 2 hours before Shabbos. Today, this week, I am going to pay careful attention and make sure that if my watch hits 7:56, and by any chance I'm not yet in the house, then I got to start worrying.
Then you're in my house.
Then I got to start worrying. Anyway, Nachum Siegel, Miriam Al Wallach, we really are at NCSY Kollel. I know that sounds strange. Yes. Because very, very few Batei Midrashot on the planet would allow us to be in their base medrash to do a show. But NCSY Kollel, and I think this is fair to say, and we're not putting anybody else down, they really are the centerpiece of what has become an explosive and dynamic NCSY summer program, overall program. And this is the pièce de résistance in many ways, and many would agree, because the bulk of the day is spent in Torah study. So we get to talk about NCSY summer programs tonight and Friday morning with people who are representing those programs. We get to do that at the place that really has become the heart
100%.
of the entire system, so to speak. By the way, speaking of the system, the leader of the system, David Cutler, is here. He leads all the NCSY summer programs. We had a chance to speak with him yesterday morning, of course.
Why does he always look so calm?
He's very calm.
It's unbelievable.
Well, Yom NCSY is over, so that must be a calming effect.
Right, but you still have 1,600
right.
participants in various parts of the country, and you're the top dog.
Right.
The buck stops with you. You got to sort of wonder why the man is so calm. We'll have to get into that.
Oh, believe me, he won't have an answer for us on that one, I don't think. He'll tell us.
Is that his general nature, that
yeah,
he's just...
He'll tell us he's not really that calm. But anyway, that's the careful.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. We're just redecorating the base.
We've really caused a...
We are causing such trouble here in the base today.
See, when we show up and we take over this little area of the base medrash, a lot of things have to be moved. A lot of things have to be...
Correct. It's our fault.
Right, it's an accommodation issue. Mm-hmm. So, Anyway, so they're wonderful Rebbeim here, great students, really incredible kids from all over America, all over North America, and we'll meet some of them coming up. Also, this is the opportunity when we use every year. Last year we did it with Kollel. Also, I would say a centerpiece of the NCSY summer programs. Last year we did it there. This year, here at Kollel, we're going to have a chance to meet some of the other leaders of different programs. TJJ is celebrating 20 years, which is pretty remarkable. Mm-hmm. This is something we spoke about last night. really kicked off the tribute to TJJ during Yom NCSY.
And the presentation that Rabbi Goldfisher received last night.
That was pretty cool.
It was wonderful. It was wonderful. So we'll get more information about that as well.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that, and I would assume he's joining us at some point tonight. If not, then others from TJJ will. And
we've already met a number of Kollel participants here today.
Yeah, there are some really nice young men that we know from our different neighborhoods, from our different schools, that are committed to doing this for the summer, which is to be commended.
Right.
We last night, or I should say more accurately, on the Thursday morning show, I went out of my way to commend those who are doing emergency medical work in Israel during the summer program. Some who are surfing during the summer program, some who are doing internships during the summer program. In this case, the bulk of their day is being spent in Torah study, which is, of course, to be admired.
But we should also just mention that we are meeting people from different communities, and there's a wide variety of communities that have participants representing.
Right.
But what's also funny is just to show you how full circle things come at the Nachum Segal Network. There are 3 Rothenberg grandchildren.
Correct.
Here,
here at Kollel.
Here, and it's just it's just great with the fact that Harry Rothenberg's vlog. We'll play today at 1:00. So we have his partners in Torah, Dvar Torah.
Right.
And we've spoken to so many members of the Rothenberg family who have all talked about their commitment to Torah and have spoken about how, they're there in case you need them.
Right.
Their hearts are in the right place, etc. And here, it just, they put their money where their mouth is in terms of, making sure the next generation feels the way they do. There are 3 grandsons here in Kollel.
Yeah, which is very nice, and it's great to see them and to just hear the news that they're here, and
right.
and others who are here. You're familiar with one of these students here in Kollel?
I am.
The Rosazadas, as we said, who are here tonight and were with us yesterday at Yom NCSY. They have a wonderful son who's here, and I've had children who have spent some time in NCSY Kollel over the years, who are not here this summer. But we have met a lot of really, really wonderful students who are either madrichim or are actual participants in the Kollel program.
So the noise that people hear in the background, I say noise in quotation marks.
Yeah, I wonder if they can hear it. Maybe.
I'm sure that they can hear some rumblings.
Yeah.
The base should not be a quiet place.
Wow, listen to you.
It's true, and I shouldn't be the one making noise.
Where'd you pick up that slogan? I'm just curious.
I'm going to say Rabbi Benovitz.
I could see him saying that.
Right.
Rabbi Benovitz leads Kollel. We'll speak to him later.
Yes, we will speak to him twice, actually.
Right.
He'll be welcoming all of us here to Beit Meir, and then he will be closing the program as well. We've had him on a number of times. He is a truly inspirational figure and the right person leading this program.
100%. Been doing a great job for many, many years. And we'll talk about all those years with him coming up. All right, we'll head to some music. We will remind this audience that it's a Friday morning JM, which is always a vital program, and this one is going to concentrate on Torah. This one's going to concentrate on the centerpiece of the NCSY summer programs, and that is NCSY Kollel. And we'll have a chance to speak to heads of other programs as well during this show.
We also want to remind people that this program, along with all the other programs that were conducted this week in Israel, are all available on our archive if you missed any part of it. And, of course, you should be following us on social media. There is so much going on. And don't forget, Sunday, we are in Camp Hask for Experience Day. So, yes, between now, Friday morning when you're listening to this program, and the next time you hear our voices, we will have, please God, made it back to New York in time for Shabbos and Experience Day.
Time for Shabbos Nachamu and Hask Experience Day.
Exactly. We're looking forward to everything. We
certainly are. All right, and if you have a shout-out specifically for Sunday for anybody at Hask, counselor, or camper, you can send it to us, nachum@nachumsegal.com, and simply use the words Hask shout-out in the subject line. Mordechai Shapiro, he's next. We have a little bit of a subdued volume.
Yes.
Because we're in the base medrash at NCSY Kollel. So
don't want to disrupt Torah study.
This is not your radio team as the result of exhaustion from this week. We don't ever let that stop us. We would normally be at regular volume and regular level, but we are a little bit more toned down because we are literally in a corner of the base medrash of NCSY Kollel on a Friday morning, Erev Shabbos Nachamu at JM in the AM.
Hashem Melech, Hashem Allah, Hashem Yimloch, Li'olam Voed. Hashem Melech, Hashem Allah, Hashem Yimloch, Li'olam Voed. He started out an office boy and climbed up the corporate ladder. He made a buck, a bit of luck, everything fit in a pattern. The wife and kids, the house they lived, he was so proud he'd arranged it. He set his goal, he's in control, but he'd forgotten the main thing. Yes, he'd forgotten the main thing. Ve'oyo Hashem lemelech, I'll call la'oretz, ba'yoyim hahu yiyeh Hashem, Hashem echad shmo yechad. Ve'oyo Hashem lemelech, I'll call la'oretz, He is the King who rules everything. Hashem echad shmo yechad. The fall came hard, his house of cards came tumbling down in a moment. It felt so strange, the world seemed changed. He suddenly couldn't control it. And now he knew he'd missed a clue. He had to think back and retrieve it, to search and find the peace of mind that comes to a heart that's believing, that comes to a heart that's believing. Ve'oyo Hashem lemelech, I'll call la'oretz, ba'yoyim hahu yiyeh Hashem, Hashem echad shmo yechad. Ve'oyo Hashem lemelech, I'll call la'oretz, He is the King who rules everything. Hashem echad shmo yechad. The days go by, we live our lives, but how often do we remember someone up there is taking care, and we are His children forever? The world is blind, we need to find the meaning that hides in the chaos. Hero sublime, His name divine, a loving creator who made us, a loving creator who made us. Ve'oyo Hashem lemelech, I'll call la'oretz, ba'yoyim hahu yiyeh Hashem, Hashem echad shmo yechad. Ve'oyo Hashem
Hisoiriri, kiva vaire kumi oiri. 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 Da beiri kivoy rashem holayach nigla uri shida beiri kivoy rashem holayach nigla hisoyriri kiva oyrech kumi oyri kiva oyrech kumi oyri hisoyriri
JM in the AM. Good morning, everybody. It's Friday. We are broadcasting from Beit Meir, where we're doing a visit to the NCSY Kollel here in Beit Meir. We are paying tribute to 19 NCSY programs with over 1,600 kids in Israel for the summer. In Israel is a little bit of a stretch because some of them, of course, there's a small percentage that's not in Israel but involved in programs in other places. And as we said last night, that number has already swelled to 21 programs for next summer, and who knows, there may be a 22nd as they consider more and more programs for NCSY next year. Last night, or I should say during Thursday morning's broadcast, you heard our effort, our attempt to broadcast from Yom NCSY. that was a yeoman's effort, right?
Yeah.
To broadcast from Yom NCSY. It's loud, it's festive. It's a
boisterous.
Big celebration. It is boisterous and a big celebration. And we were able to persevere. Make it through the 3 hours and really give everybody a taste of what it's like to have every NCSY that's in Israel together in one place. In this week's case, Latrun.
Nachum, do you think that David Cutler is going to be sending us to Thailand
to
do a show from there?
I'm glad you remembered because I had forgotten. That's one of the programs he announced last night. Is that actually going to go to Thailand first and then end up in Israel, which...
Maybe we should follow them.
That's adventurous and that's different.
Yoni's into it.
Yeah, it's different and adventurous. And I don't know. I always marvel at how these programs that start in places like Poland and then Italy, and they have one that starts in what else did we discover last night? There was one that starts in Italy, Poland we know about, and there was one that started in Amsterdam.
Right.
They all end up in Israel, but the youngsters are so excited about the first component, about the first half of it, and.
Well, I think we should offer to go to Thailand and do what we need to for the community.
Of Thailand?
No. Of the greater NCSY. I think we should bring it up with David.
All right.
All right, I'll bring it up with David. I will bring it up with David.
JM in the AM with candlelighting at 7:56 on this Erev Shabbos. Rabbi Moshe Benovitz is feeling the excitement of Shabbos Nachamu. It's in the air. You know, on Sunday they observe Tisha B'Av like the rest of us here in Israel. On Sunday they spent a good deal of time at the Kollel. Where else would be a better place to spend part of Tisha B'Av than at the Kollel? Right next to Har HaBayit on Tisha B'Av. And then all of a sudden, the mood changes. All of a sudden, they start building up to this incredible Shabbos Nachamu, Erev Shabbos Nachamu, already here on a Thursday night in the Beis Medrash. And I would bet Shabbos is going to be amazing. Rabbi Moshe Benovitz, welcome back to JM in the AM.
Welcome back to Beit Meir.
I appreciate that.
Exciting to be together again.
In your capacity as the leader of NCSY Kollel, now in your what year?
This is my 26th summer here.
And it's significant for us because 26 years ago, there were how many students here in NCSY Kollel?
About 36 or so.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. Was it here?
No, in Efrat until about 2000.
And all of a sudden, or I shouldn't say all of a sudden, but after a lot of hard work and a tremendous amount of influence from your madrichim, your advisors who are here for the summer each and every year, all of a sudden you're at 200 some? What would be the number?
Well, it's certainly not all of a sudden, but we have 280 boys here learning for the summer. That's our high school boys.
Right.
We have a staff of about another 90. That's not including our families. We're serving 3 meals a day to our entire program. That's upwards of 430 people here.
Pretty significant.
It's pretty significant. Now that we're after Tisha B'Av, there are those who say that we are one of the biggest active Batei Medrash in the world now, filled with NCSYers. So we have a lot on our shoulders, but they're pretty broad shoulders, thank God.
I am
280
so
NCSYers.
glad you brought this up. I want to explain this to our audience. On Tisha B'Av, traditionally, that would be the last day that students that spend their day studying Talmud and other Jewish sources, that's traditionally the day that they start their summer break, and that goes usually till Rosh Chodesh Elul. In fact, it's funny because today, when we were Thursday, depending on how you look at this broadcast, when we were at the Barkan Winery, they actually mentioned to us that 80 or 90 students of the Mir Yeshiva were there as part of their summer vacation break, etc. So you guys, and I never thought of this before, but again, I'm glad you brought it up. You guys are active and strong, and some might say you're at the peak of your season.
You bet.
In terms of Torah study, and the majority, is that fair to say? The majority of the Torah world is on some type of break.
Correct, and that's just when we get started. This new beautiful Beis Medrash hosts 400 seats plus. And they are filled throughout the day with the sounds of boys learning as we hear in the background right now.
So traditionally, outside of Kollels that we're familiar with in the camps that attract the Yeshiva League, let's put it that way, outside of those programs, it is rare that Shabbos Nachamu is a big deal in a Beis Medrash. It's rare this is a
That's correct.
This is a really big thing. Interesting. So here we are now on Thursday night, where I know it's going to be very exciting here. A little later on. Now it's only, quote-unquote, the excitement of Torah study going on. But tell me what Shabbos is going to be like. Tell me what it's going to be like here.
Well, we're going to pack up en masse as soon as we finish this extraordinary night, which, like you said, is going to have quite a few elements to it. We have the great learning going on right now, and we'll see a little bit of the NCSY spirit and energy a little bit later tonight. Not only do we have that crowd of about 400, but we're hosting tonight 3 of our TJJ buses, the boys from the Central East TJJ bus, from the West Coast TJJ bus, and from the New Jersey TJJ bus
and
are joining us.
And these students know they're coming, right?
Oh, they're here already.
They're already
and they're all interacting with each other, learning together in the Beis Medrash. We'll be singing and dancing together a little bit more and getting ready for Shabbos. Shabbos doesn't happen just by itself all of a sudden either. As you mentioned, Shabbos Nachamu for us started just at the end of Tisha B'Av when we got up at the Kotel Plaza and began to sing Nachamu, Nachamu. We heard it at Yom NCSY last night, Shlomo and Eitan Katzlin. I mean, what a highlight that was, because it was happening in action. It wasn't something that was being forced or contrived. You were seeing it in front of your eyes. There was a nechama. There was a consolation from the fact that the Jewish people are rising again in front of our very eyes here in this base medrash, here in the beautiful land of Israel, and they're doing it in the best possible way. And we're going to pack all of that up en masse, about 9 buses, and head to the holy city of Tzfat, where we have essentially taken over the city of Tzfat.
Okay, I got to stop you. There's too many things I have to ask you about now. 1 second. You'll be at Tzfat for Shabbos. We know how inspirational that can be.
And good luck to anybody else trying to get to Tzfat for Shabbos, because there are not that many hotel beds that are left.
You're going to take over the whole city.
That's right.
Okay, so point number 1, frustrated parents who plan to be in Israel for Shabbos Nachamu have to get used to the fact that you never will allow Nachamu to be an off Shabbos. It's just too important to these boys.
No, that's correct.
Because a lot of other NCSY programs have an off Shabbos.
Nachamu is, again, because it's so connected to what we're doing. To lose that opportunity would be terrible.
Secondly, the students that walked in tonight, 3 busloads, I'm assuming it's about 100 kids, to study Torah from TJJ, to study Torah with the NCSY Kollel boys. I would assume that they have only on rare occasions walked into a base medrash previously.
That's correct.
Right? And they come in here, and they have I don't know what word to use, a desire, an adventurous tone to them or attitude.
Sure.
What I mean, this is going to work tonight. This is not going to be trying to convince public school kids to do anything. This is going to be, and this is going to be a desire on their part to be integrated into this program.
We're going to win them over right away from the get-go, from the first time they walk in, because of 2 things. And it's actually the 2 things. It's not limited to their experience. This is how we grew from 36 to 280 over time. They're going to notice 2 things. The first thing they're going to notice is that the boys who are sitting and learning are just like them. They're wearing the same T-shirts and they're wearing the same pants. They root for the same sports teams and they care about the same things. They are, for lack of a better word, normal. Right. And they're going to see these are not people with horns and they're not people from a different planet. They're not people with a radically different set of interests or anything else like that. They're just like them. And if they're doing it, it becomes so inviting and so attractive. What becomes even more inviting and attractive is that the first thing they will notice after a long day that we've had here, after an absolutely exhausting week, it's an exhilarating week, they're going to notice that everyone's smiling. Right. And people are drawn to smiles. Everybody wants to be in a place where people are happy and enjoying themselves. They see that, and they just want to be a part of it, because who wouldn't want to be a part of it?
And one of the things we keep emphasizing, I'm sure this will come up multiple times because it did during the OMNCSY show, is the number of TJJers who decide to come to Kollel.
That's correct.
In fact, you actually had, I remind our listeners, a celebration of Hanachat Tefillin.
That's right.
For those who are real teenagers already.
So this was really one of the highlights of our summer, and many argued it was the highlights of maybe decades of summers. In this base medrash, just about 2.5 weeks ago, we discovered as part of our Mechina program, who I know you'll be meeting together with their incredible director, Rabbi Derek Gorman, who's also our West Coast Regional Director for NCSY during the year. We didn't take a lot to discover. There were a couple of our boys who were lending tefillin every day to a couple of these Mechina boys. The Mechina program is our preparatory program for boys who come from a little bit of a less strong background. And this is their first experience. Many of them are alumni of the TJJ programs, joining the base medrash for the first time. 2 of them didn't have a pair of tefillin. One of our advisors arranged for them to get donated a pair of tefillin for themselves, and we were going to celebrate that like nothing else. In fact, we asked Rav Schechter the question. Rav Schechter was in our base medrash. He just left the other day. He's been here for the first 3 weeks of the program. We asked Rav Schechter that if we were going to have this was during the 9 days, if we were going to have singing and dancing, do we need to add another siyum? He said, you don't need to add anything. What simcha could be greater, and what greater justification than these boys celebrating the mitzvah of tefillin? I told all of the 280 boys, not just the handful who are on the Mechina program, I told all of the boys that this is everybody's Hanachas Tefillin. That everybody, whether you're putting them on for the first time or you're putting them on for the 100th time, we're all going to do it like it's the first time, and we're all going to celebrate how lucky we are. They sang in the base medrash after these boys spoke in the base medrash about what it meant to them to put on tefillin. Our base medrash, almost 400 strong, for about 20 minutes after Shacharis. Breakfast waiting, nobody cared. Ashreinu matov chelkeinu. How lucky and fortunate we are. Boys from DRS and from MTA, boys from strong backgrounds and weak backgrounds, boys from the Mechina, arm in arm with the other boys from the rest of the country, all together celebrating the fact that they're able to be in this land, in this environment, doing mitzvos together. Rav Schechter was bawling. He was so like a proud grandfather in the front of the base medrash, clapping and singing along. It was absolutely extraordinary.
2 West Coasters. They're both from the West Coast.
Both from Houston, actually.
Both from Houston, Texas?
Yes, Houston, Texas.
So now, if there is such a thing as a Kollel questionnaire, especially for Mechina, do you own tefillin? Will be one of those.
You know what? We
then.
know that we could take care of it if they don't. So I would actually be hesitant to put anything that could. You don't want it to be a bar of entry. Make them feel bad about it all.
Good point.
We'll figure it out and we'll deal with it when they get there.
But
it's
meaning,
all
what
about
I mean to say is
we'll
that
find
now
out.
this is something that you will be aware of.
Yes. And if we could do it again, we certainly will. Because again, it's not about the gift of the tefillin. It's about the celebration, which is so relevant to everybody. And like I said, there are no competing for sure. There are no different dynamics at all that are taking place here. It's the same dynamic that's working for even for our staff, for our Rebbeim, for our Rosh Yeshiva. It's just happiness, enjoyment, and great energy. You hear what's going on behind you. This is 8:30 at night. These boys were playing ball all day in the hot sun. They had a mini teal today. They were learning in the morning. They were learning in the afternoon. And they're just back for more. They're going to blow the roof off this place tonight.
And the last person will walk out of here about what time?
Oh, tonight? I have no idea. I mean, long after
midnight?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thursday nights here are just incredible.
You brought up another point that I must speak to you about, and that is your incredible staff. And I know the Madrichim, and we've made this point now so many times during the Omen CSY show and tonight. The staff in general is to be admired, and believe me, whoever finds them, they're finding tremendous talent. But you have a unique situation here, unlike the other NCSY programs, at least as far as I know. And that is these Rebbeim. These are people who are, in addition to Rav Shechter, who can only spend a certain amount of time here, you have certain Rebbeim who are here all summer, who are here for the entire length of the program.
We have great interaction and support. It's not just support. It's the leadership in the truest sense of the word from a group of Rosh Yeshiva. Rav Shechter is here for 3 weeks. Rav Tursky was here for 3 weeks as well. Rabbi Sobolovsky is here for all 6 weeks with us. Rav Yonason Sachs will be joining us for almost a full week next week and interacting with all levels of our staff. And that's the top of the pyramid. And they provide direction and inspiration to the entire staff, to all the NCSYers. We have a group of professional Rebbeim, many of whom are here in the greatest of yeshivas in Eretz Yisrael, Rosh Yeshivas themselves, and the most talented Rebbeim. Right now, just across on this campus right now, we have Rav Mordechai Berg and Rav Moshe Tarragon, Rav Jesse Horn giving shiurim, and they're giving some of the most popular, well-attended shiurim on the internet, YU Torah, all over OU.org. You name it, and they're coming here every day and interacting with the high school boys. Rav Mordechai Berg is giving a shiur to 67 NCSYers. It's self-selecting. They all choose the shiur they want to go to. There are 67 NCSYers in a room right now, and he gives an optional shiur after Marav that will have more than that number of 67. You'll be able to watch that later on tonight. So the group of Rebbeim are absolutely incredible that we have here, and it has a great impact. But you can't gloss over those advisors that you mentioned. Those advisors are the key to all of it because of the relatability, because of the role modeling, because of what they represent to the group that we have here on such a strong level.
Did the first year of Kollel have rabbis? Did they have an addition?
That is such a great question. The common denominator in all the summers and all their history is the advisors and the madrichem. Everything else gets maneuvered and changed, and sometimes more and sometimes less. We didn't start with the Rosh Yeshiva until the late 90s.
Oh, wow.
There were 6-7 years.
Now I'm really glad I asked.
Rav Aaron Lichtenstein visited Zatzal. That was always so meaningful. We had opportunities to meet with Rav Nassim Tzvi Finkel Zatzal and many others, great luminaries. But as far as an active presence all the time, that didn't start until 7 or 8 years into the program, actually with Rav Shechter. And the Rebbeim also. Listen, I can't say they've come and gone. We've always had professional shiurim and Rebbeim giving instruction to the program, but the heart of the program has always been our madrichem.
Is Rabbi Kamenetsky joining you this summer?
Rabbi Kamenetsky is here, yeah.
I got to make sure to see him.
We'll certainly bring him over.
By the way, one of the, it's funny that rabbis, because who would believe this in the Jewish community? It's funny that rabbis are an attraction. And what do I mean? I know this from our own family's experience. During the year, there are people in the yeshiva high schools reminding the students that if they come to NCSY Kollel, they get to spend the summer with, and they will fill in the name of a rabbi.
Sure.
And you know that's not always common when it
No,
comes to high school.
it's one of the
years.
great things that we can introduce. Look, we want our boys to understand a couple of things that they don't always understand in our community. One, I think, pertains to the land of Israel, how welcome and inviting and how big a part this can play, this area, this land, and how much a part it is of their lives in a real meaningful way. And one of them is the world of Torah. And that means its luminaries and its leaders, that there is relevance of these personalities and people. They're not faces on a wall. And the truth is, for many of our teens, they're not even faces on the wall. And now they're so much more than that. Now they have an opportunity to interact with them, to learn with them, even if it's just to witness them and to see them. It's absolutely remarkable.
Who's the veteran here this year? Who's here for their 4th or 5th summer? Anybody?
We have quite a few.
Really?
Quite a few.
I'm not
yeah.
even referring to Madrichim. I'm saying are there students who are here
From
like
the
since
students.
9th grade till they graduate?
Yeah,
Like,
so that wouldn't be 4 or 5.
Right.
We have 1 or 2
that are
who've been
filling
here,
that role?
Yeah, correct.
The veterans on
Correct.
campus, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty amazing. And here we are in Beit Meir, and I know that you constantly have to expand.
That's right.
Which must be a challenge each and every time.
It is.
I mean, you mentioned earlier about the, not being able to house everybody in Svat, and how
Right.
difficult it is to do that. You have the same exact problem here.
That's true. That's true.
So,
That's correct.
It's not just Shabbos Nachal.
No one will find any empty beds in Moshav Beit Meir. If they exist, if it's got a mattress, we found it already, and we're utilizing it. But we've been able to make a lot of great improvements here. Like I said, you see this beautiful base medrash is really remarkable, and it holds 400 people comfortably.
It is pretty amazing, I'll tell you. What happens over Shabbos? Once Shabbos ends, is there a big program? Let's say Shabbos Nachamu.
Simply Tzvat will be playing an amazing concert.
Holy
up in Tzvat.
cow!
We've got
Give
that.
them my best regards.
I certainly will.
Oh my gosh,
we
they're
will be,
amazing.
yeah, it's going to be
Will
tremendous.
the kids get a chance to meet them, to
Sure,
interact? Oh my gosh, because
absolutely,
their stories
absolutely.
are.
Yeah.
They have very interesting backgrounds.
Yeah. No, it's going to be amazing. And we're meeting personalities like them all throughout Shabbos. We'll be having our Shabbos Nachamu Tish in the main Breslov base medrash over there. We take that over. They love to have us there. Last time we were in Tzvat, which was 2 years ago, was one of the real remarkable highlights of the summer.
Whole thing is just incredible. I could speak to you about this for the next 3 hours. Our Moshe Benovitz leads NCSY Kollel. By the way, and I don't know if this is, because I know that later you're going to join me again, but believe me, I'll have more to speak to you about. But I'd love your perspective on this. It's one of the things that I spoke about at length during our Yom NCSY show yesterday. We were there, and you were there, in April at this leadership
Staff training
Staff
weekend.
training
That's
weekend.
right.
Okay. Formal training, and again, as I've said 1,000 times this week, not at all minimizing the efforts of those who did NCSY in the 70s,
Right.
80s, 90s.
Right.
But now, these formal programs, degree-like seminars, in my opinion,
Right.
that you train the staff is remarkable. And what was my impression of that Shabbos? And I'm as cynical as anybody when it comes to Jewish leadership, believe me. Under that roof was such an incredible collection of talent, such an amazing collection of talent that you get to see and interview and bring in and offer jobs to, et cetera, et cetera. And it seems with this unbelievable expansion, another 2 programs announced last night, that one might be afraid when leading this organization, and I know you're very close to David Cutler, so you can answer this question. One might be afraid, aren't we going to run out of quality staff? Aren't we? Because that's usually the biggest hurdle when it comes to growth in something like this, especially fast growth. Why is it not affecting the organization?
You're looking at the answer. You're looking at the answer. The boys that are sitting in this base medrash right now, who are having their entry-level experience to that entire world that I mentioned, who are being exposed to so many of the great leaders on all levels, great leaders who are a year or 2 ahead of them, great leaders who are a few decades ahead of them. They're being exposed right now, and they will be the advisors of tomorrow.
And there's
and
a
they
whole
will
bunch
be in
of
great
them.
numbers, and there are a whole bunch of them. That's exactly
There's
right.
a big lot of them to choose from.
That is exactly right.
Which is amazing. You turn away a lot of staff because you just
Listen, it's a very, very popular program.
Right.
And again, we have a lot of opportunity.
You turn
but
away a lot of students.
We try to accommodate as many as we can. We did not get all of the ones who applied, but we're always working on it. We're always working on it.
It must be so difficult for some of those kids. But the truth is, even if you would expand, add another 100 spaces, you know what would happen.
Yeah,
You'd need 200 more. And it's,
But
that's
what we're trying to do.
Greatest sign of success. The noise in the background is the base medrash, NCSY Kollel, and Rabbi Benovitz has
Gifts. I
Has
always have
gifts.
gifts. You need to be here because the sports program is such a big part of what we're doing over here. And we gave you the jersey last time. This is the official.
It's hanging in the studio, the jersey.
Well, you got to get a new one now. This is the official NCSY Kollel 2018 jersey. We've got it with your name this time, and it's ready to go.
I don't think the name is large enough, Rabbi.
Well, it's all right there. And you have some competition this time also because we've got a Wallach as well over there.
Very appropriate because I defeat her in every one-on-one. So very
there
appropriate.
You go. There you
Thank
go. They are reversible, so if you want to play on different teams, you're able to do it very, very easily also.
All right, we'll see you later. Thank you, Rabbi.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm telling you, I could do a 3-hour interview with you. I'm not kidding.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
It's a pleasure to be here. We look forward to what's going to be an amazing night here tonight. Thank you so much. Friday morning broadcast. It's JM and the AM. Erev Shabbos Nachamu. Could you imagine? And we are at NCSY Kollel for Erev Shabbos Nachamu with a reminder for our New York listeners that candlelighting time is at 7:56 on this Erev Shabbos Parshas V'Eschanan, Erev Shabbos Nachamu. Again, 7:56. And we encourage everybody out there to continue to listen because we have amazing Jewish leaders who are going to join us all through this program in order to highlight some of the amazing and incredible work of NCSY's summer programs. Malcolm Hoenlein will rejoin us next week for our weekly update, so make sure to be tuned in. He will rejoin us next week after we get back to our New York City studios. Simcha Liner's next, plenty more coming up. We're at NCSY Kollel at JM in the AM.
כשאדם לא מתוירו אוי שעושה מצוו אהי בשמחו מכל כך שמחו כשאדם לא מתוירו אוי שעושה מצוו אהי בשמחו מכל כך שמחו כשאדם לא מתוירו אוי שעושה מצוו אהי בשמחו מכל כך שמחו כשאדם לא מתוירו אוי שעושה מצוו אהי בשמחו מכל כך שמחו השמחו נגס עד רגלו ומעלה אויסום למעלה למעלו השמחו נגס עד רגלו ומעלה אויסום אוי למעלו נרקד נרקד מחמא שמחו איות מסעלה אוי רייסום נרקד נרקד מחמא שמחו איות מסעלה אוי רייסום כשאדם לא מתוירו אוי שעושה מצוו אהי בשמחו מכל כך שמחו כשאדם לא מתוירו אוי שעושה מצוו אהי בשמחו מכל כך שמחו אשר השמחו נגס עד רגלו ומעלה אויסום למעלה למעלו אשר השמחו נגס עד רגלו ומעלה אויסום למעלו Oh, yeah.
ושם נשיר שיר חדש, ושם נשיר שיר חדש. ייבנה, וברננה נעלה, וברננה נעלה. ייבנה, הרחמנה נקדש, יסברך מישראל. הרחמנה נקדש, יסברך מישראל. השיר שחדש ייבנה ובננה נעלה ובננה נעלה ייבנה הרחמנה נקדש יסברך ויסלל הרחמנה נקדש יסברך ויסלל
JM in the AM. You heard Shalshelis in there. You heard Simcha Leiner in there. And now you're hearing me, Nachum Siegel and Miriam L. Wallach at NCSY Kollel on a Friday morning broadcast. Erev Shabbos Nachamu. Here we are in one of the places that is really, really hopping on this Erev Shabbos Nachamu. You noticed that I enjoyed my conversation with Rabbi Benovitz.
You notice I never said to you, you have to end your conversation with Rabbi Benovitz.
I could have gone further, but I know he's coming back, and
it's a 3-hour show, and there are other people we have to get in.
But the truth is, a 3-hour conversation with him wouldn't be a bad idea. But anyway,
for another day.
He brought up this topic that I don't think we've ever addressed before, and that was that the majority of yeshivas in the world are closed this week. Right? They close after Tisha B'Av.
Right.
And they, here at NCSY Kollel, are at the peak of their season, which is interesting. I never thought of that. I found it very interesting, the dichotomy of these summer programs that have a Kollel or learning program that continue even after Tisha B'Av. So yet another reason to be proud.
No, and he all agreed, but he also discussed the fact that, and you both discussed, how this program is an incubator, and so many NCSY programs are an incubator for the future of Jewish leadership. Whether it's from the NCSY Kollel angle or the Give angle or TJJ, we're going to see great things, both from the Madrichim and the trip leaders, but also from the participants. These, you and I know the power of camping.
Yep.
And, I mean, I don't want to lump this in with camp, but this is camp.
This is sort of like camp on steroids.
Exactly. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Because you have the Israel element, the
Correct.
Tiyulim, the learning, and everything is so.
And there's no visiting day, and there's no this.
And
you
the
know,
days and nights are filled.
correct.
You know,
It's because it's insulated. There is that kind of greater intensity.
no question about it.
And yes, and then Avirat Haaretz certainly helps as well. I'm not going to knock that. You have kids, you have participants, you have campers, you have teens here who are going to take this experience and it's going to stay with them the rest of their lives.
By the way, this is a good time to remind everybody that these summer programs have a website. Mm-hmm. There's information available. Believe it or not, David Cutler mentioned that registration opens. What did he say?
Tomorrow.
Did he say tomorrow? He said something.
No. Tomorrow Shabbos. I'm messing. Pre-registration.
Pre-registration. Right. Now, today, right? Yeah. On Thursday night, Friday morning of Erev Shabbos Nachamu, pre-registration is open, and that's for every program, right? For every NCSY program.
Amy is already exhausted.
They could have a large percentage of slots filled just from pre-registration.
Wow. It's unbelievable.
Cool.
And, of course, we'd like to thank Amy Moskoff, who's been tremendous.
I would applaud quietly
we don't
because
want
it's
to
a
disrupt
base
the
medrash
base.
after all.
We don't want to disrupt the
I
base.
do want to point out to our sports editor. Excuse me, that would be improper because Elliot's our sports editor, but one of our sports contributors.
Commentators?
Talking head. Yoni Pollack, that there is a gentleman in the base medrash here right now wearing a Darnold Jet jersey.
I don't even know what those words mean.
It means that this new quarterback who's about to begin his career with the Jets already has a following here at Kollel. What do you think of that?
Hello, that's because we have Jewish leaders here. The next generation of leadership knows to stay on top of things.
Exactly.
Even though we don't have any connectivity whatsoever and have no cell service, it seems people do know what's going on in the outside world.
No question about it. Well, but the point is, Roy Benovitz mentioned that the TJJers come here and they see kids who have the same interests that they have and root for the same teams, etc. So, hey, you got people ready to wear the jersey of those who are brand new players in the NFL. It's America's one and only Jewish Moments in the Morning radio program, heard on listener-sponsored digital radio around the world on the web at NachumSegal.com, on the Nachum Segal Network, and, of course, on the beloved NSN app. And we are at NCSY Kollel. We're talking about the NCSY summer programs. Candle lighting in the New York area. 7:56 on this Erev Shabbos Parshas Veschanon. And Kollel leaves tomorrow for an amazing and incredible journey for Shabbos Nachamu to Tzvat, where they're going to meet up with our friends from Simply Tzvat and a whole bunch of other interesting people up there. Rabbi Derek Gorman is with us, director of the Mechina program for both Kollel and Michlelet. I have a feeling I'm going to be a very big fan of Rabbi Gorman after this conversation. A pleasure to welcome you to JM and the AM.
Thank you so much for having me.
You know, your programs are among the most talked about this summer of 2018. You know that, right?
I have, thank God, heard a lot of feedback. A lot of people are talking, and there are a lot of exciting things to talk about.
The Mechina program, to put it simply, well, the truth is you could probably describe it better than I can, but Kollel and Michlelet have opened themselves up to those with limited background. Would that be a good way of saying it?
That's correct. The same way that any boy with whatever background, we have different levels of shear. So we've also created a shear for boys without a day school background.
Yeah, the danger is that now this is going to start swelling in numbers, and the request to be part of the Mechina program, because already you're what, in Kollel, you're 10, 11 kids already, if I'm not
Correct. I'm not sure what the danger is.
Yeah, you know what I mean, though.
I do. I welcome the challenge. It's a great challenge.
Same type of numbers in Michlelet? Is it the same?
Michlelet has 14 girls this summer.
More than Kollel.
Correct.
So I'll ask you the obvious question. We've over the years explored and sort of come to a conclusion about what attracts public school youth to TJJ, but now taking it a step further, why would someone with a public school background want to spend their time this summer in an environment like Kollel and Michlelet?
It's a great question. I would say part of it has to do with the success of TJJ. About half of the boys in my shear were in TJJ last year or the previous, and there's something not only about the experience, the fun that they were having, but also the learning. Something it itched something.
Because on TJJ, they will learn a minimum of how much? Like, what do they...
around an hour a day. They have
Nice.
chaburas in the morning.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, they have tefillah chaburas in the morning, and there is davening regularly. And then each evening there's a learning program of sorts, usually more along the lines of an experiential type of learning, but there is text to ground everything that happens on TJJ.
Interesting. They come here, we know, or at least we know what it sounds like to us and to the listeners about the intensity of the Torah study here. How intense is it for them here in Kollel?
There's nothing different.
Really? Same schedule?
Same schedule. It's not that there's this different track with different boys and everything is totally
They would
separate.
have the same Rebbeim.
Same Rebbeim, same schedule, same ti'ulim, same dorms, same meals. Everything's all together. It's just a matter of another layer of the learning.
And many of them coming out of 10th grade, same as the Kollel general?
Coming out of 10th and 11th.
What are they doing when they start 11th grade? They're back in what type of environment afterwards?
In public school. Back in their public school environment.
And these kids ask them, how did you spend your summer?
Correct.
The friends that they have on the soccer team, and they will say, how did you spend your summer? And what might be their answer? They will tell them, we were on the Mechina program at NCSY Kollel.
We were maximizing our experience to tap into
Rabbi
to our
Gorman, do you
authentic
recommend to them to tell everybody that they were in the Mechina program at NCSY Kollel?
Sure, it's that they're having a great time in the summer, experiencing their heritage from an authentic source, to really and developing their tool belt to be able to then further their experiences within Jewish learning.
Rabbi Derek Gorman is with us, director of the Mechina program, Kollel and Mechlelet. You're based during the year where?
In Los Angeles.
And that serving as in an NCSY capacity?
Correct. I'm the regional director for West Coast NCSY.
Oh, so you know Akiva Neiman.
Of course.
It always comes back to Akiva.
Of course. Hi, Akiva.
When you're dealing with the Siegel family. And when you say your students, you're talking about West Coasters.
Yes, and. Because the Mechina program is a national-based program.
No, but what I mean when you say your students during the year, you're talking about those who you've met and that you've encouraged to come here from the West Coast.
Correct.
Pretty remarkable. Now, Rabbi Gorman, standing between the two of us, you're going to help me with this. One gentleman is from Cleveland, Ohio. His name is Isaac Weiss. I'm assuming you're familiar with him.
I am.
Which one is he?
That's me.
Right here. Okay, Mr. Weiss, a pleasure. And Andy Namath, is it? Namath is their last name?
Yes.
From Agora Hills, California. Andy, I'm going to put you on the spot first. When you go back to school in September, and they approach you, your classmates, and ask, how did you spend your summer? What is going to be your answer?
Well, first off, I think I'm going to be telling them that I had the best summer ever, the motto of the entire camp, and that I learned more than I ever thought I would in my entire life, learning Torah, Talmud, Gemara, and it's just such an invigorating experience, learning Judaism in a way I never thought possible before.
Do your parents know where you are for the summer?
Of course.
I know, I'm kidding around. What did they say when they wished you bon voyage?
They said to learn and expand my mind the best way I knew possible and come back knowing more than I knew before.
Have you spent time in Israel before this summer?
Yeah, back in December I was visiting family with my parents actually. We have my great aunt lives in Jerusalem, and we have a couple cousins living up in Netanya and Carmiel.
Nonetheless, I'm sure this Israel experience is much different than that.
Of course.
And we have here, as I said, Isaac Weiss of Cleveland, Ohio.
Yes.
How do you spend your time in Cleveland during the school year?
During the school year, I'm on my school's tennis team in the spring, and then during the fall, I'm involved in a few clubs such as student council.
And your teammates, again, might ask you, hey, Isaac, what were you doing this summer, before you reunite with them? And your answer will be?
Well, I went on TJJ last year, the NCSY program, so I'm a little more familiar with these questions. Because I wore kippah this past year, which was a new thing for me. So everybody,
Kol hakavod.
Thank you. So
Rabbi Gorman, do you recommend that, Rabbi Gorman, or it's up to the students to decide what to do?
It's up to them to decide what to do.
That's a pretty big move,
It's
right?
a big move. It's a big move.
So when a lot of people would ask me, and what I'm planning on telling them is that I returned to Israel for a second summer in a row, and this time just for a more religious program, and hopefully if they ask me what I learned, then I can share with them a few ideas.
And have you been in touch with your parents over the summer?
Every few days, I think that they would like me to text a little bit more and maybe send a few pictures, but we're not out and about as much
And
as
is
before.
your excitement about this program evident in your communication with your parents?
I do include a few exclamation points once in a while, so yeah.
I'll tell you, I'm bowled over. I'm literally, it's unbelievable. The whole thing. And you said there were 10 or 11? 11?
We have 11 in my year.
Would they all be like this if I lined them up and asked them the same questions?
I would hope so.
Well, what do you think? You've been in conversation with them this summer.
Yeah, thank God. Everyone's having a great time. Everyone's learning
Cleveland,
at their pace.
California. Give me a couple others.
New Jersey, Texas.
You got Texas.
Las Vegas. All over.
New
York.
All of them are public school based during the year. Every one of them.
Correct.
Any of them standing here now? Or yeah? What city?
No, he's not in our year.
Anybody around here?
They're in their own shiurim. They're learning right now.
Exactly.
They're learning.
Yeah, I need to do a show, and they're busy studying Torah. I mean, come on, guys. For the good of the program, pull these guys out. Let me speak to them. Anyway, Isaac Weiss, Cleveland, Ohio. Kol hakavod. I am honored to meet you. It's really amazing. Are you already starting to think about next summer?
I am. I'm thinking about possibly Shana Bet for Kollel. But of course, I have to talk to the parents first.
Right. Well, we got time for that, but a lot of these people like to sow these seeds early. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Start getting them into it the moment you get off the plane.
Exactly.
And Andy Naaman of Agora Hills, California. Kol hakavod to you. What a pleasure to meet you as well.
Thank you.
And great success to you, both during the summer and during the school year.
Thank you.
Rabbi Gorman, you get to hang out with people like this all year round, huh?
I'm very blessed. Very blessed. Very thankful.
Do you get my speechlessness? Because I know that I'm encouraged to continue broadcasting, but this is really it's an emotional experience.
You're welcome to visit Shir. You're welcome to visit our Shir and see what goes on in the classroom.
Yeah?
We'd love to have you.
It's amazing, huh?
It is absolutely amazing.
Rabbi Derek Gorman is director of the Mechina program for both Kollel and Mechlela. We should point out that if one would visit Mechlela tonight, same thing, 14 girls in that case from different cities in the United States. Again, public school-based, all making commitments to the Summer of Torah and answering the same questions that these two are when they get back to school in September.
That's correct.
Unbelievable. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
An absolute delight. Rabbi Derek Gorman, Mechina program, a big success here in Kollel and Mechlelet. Boy, talk about being proud of what they do here at the NCSY summer programs. Simply amazing. Going to another guest or to our we're going to go here? More coming up with a reminder that we're at Erev Shabbos Nachamu on a Friday morning broadcast. We're in Israel on this unique and very, very interesting evening on Erev Shabbos Nachamu that we're broadcasting Friday morning from NCSY Kollel in Beit Meir. I want to thank all of the parents that have been in touch with us with their NCSY shout-outs, which we did last night, of course, at Yom NCSY. Meanwhile, we have more coming up with Yehuda Green. Keep it here at JM in the AM.
אני ויגולנו אני מאמין באמונה שלנו בביאת המשיח אני מאמין באמונה שלנו בביאת המשיח אני
JM in the AM. Great brand new one from Yehuda Green. It's called Moshiach here at JM in the AM. A lot of great brand new music out there. We're at NCSY Kollel, everybody. Friday morning broadcast, 7:56 candle lighting in the New York area on this Erev Shabbos Nachamu, Erev Shabbos Parshas V'Yaschanan. Well, no secret, one of my favorite people in Jewish education has just sat down next to me. He is the, I want to do this right, is it Rosh Yeshiva officially in DRS? No, what is that the title though, right? The Rosh Yeshiva of DRS High School, one of the preeminent, what I would call Yeshiva League high schools, as I always refer to them. And here, the educational director at Kollel, and in his 23rd year at NCSY Kollel. I think he came here right after he left Camp Mesorah, if I'm not mistaken. Rabbi Yissi Kamenetsky, what a delight to welcome you here. And thank you for welcoming us here.
It's always an absolute pleasure to have the Nachum Segal Network here, and all the great work that Nachum, that you and your whole staff do for the entire Jewish community. So appreciated. And Kollel and NSN is a natural synergy.
Yeah, the only network allowed in Beis Medrash, I believe.
That's for sure.
First year, 23 years ago for you, how many Kollel students that summer?
I'm going to guess around 70 or 80.
That was it.
I'm going to guess something around that.
And you've gotten to this point where,
280.
And the walls are bursting and there are not enough beds and all that stuff. So from your perspective, what has been the success of all of this that now, unfortunately, sometimes students have to be turned away, and even staff, right? Those who want to work here, who want to have influence on the young students, there are not enough slots for them either. Your perspective on it.
It's a very good question. There's so many people that walk into this Beis Medrash and say, when I was a kid, there was no way something like this could possibly have happened. There's something going on in the Jewish world, but I think that the secret of Kollel is the enjoyment of Yiddishkeit, the enjoyment of Torah study in the land of Israel, with great madrichim and a great staff and great sports and great trips. All of this painting a whole picture of that it's actually enjoyable to be Jewish and it's actually enjoyable to study Torah.
And you just raised such an important point. Those listening, especially those on the younger side, if you would go back to the 70s and 80s, the majority of yeshiva high school kids had no desire to spend their summer in this type of forum. And something has seeped into what I call the Yeshiva League, as you know, and your school is among the most prominent of them. Something has gone right where everybody, and I shouldn't say everybody, but where students feel that this has to be an important part of their summer day.
I believe there are approximately 60 students from my high school on the Kollel this summer. And I've seen that revolution even in our own school about how excited this program makes people about learning. And the truth is we see the impact when they come back to the yeshiva afterwards. After having a summer like this, with the excitement about learning and the Rosh Yeshiva and Eretz Yisrael and just the whole experience, even the ball and the tiulim, the whole thing together, they come back so much more excited. It makes it a pleasure in terms of running classes. That's why I've been here for 23 years because I view this as a investment in our own yeshiva high school back in America. It's there's nothing like it.
I said to our benefits earlier, I said, in our day, you would say to somebody, you come to this summer program because, and fill in the blank, you'll play great basketball, you'll meet kids you want to meet, social atmosphere, et cetera, et cetera. But now, in places like yours, They're saying, come to Israel for the summer so you can be with this Rosh Hashiva. Spend the summer with Rav Schechter. That was not always a big PR thing, you know what I mean? That was not always a big marketing push to spend the summer with Rabbeim.
And you mentioned you can't underestimate the brilliance and creativity of Rabbi Benovitz. He never wants to be the focus of any spotlight, which is part of his greatness. But the way he puts together this and the way he gives his whole life into making such a special program for the kids, and he would do anything to make it more enjoyable for the kids, even with the food and whatever he does, whatever he can do to make it more exciting, because he views this is education, and this is not just camp. This is and many camps also involved in education, but this is developing kids. This is giving them an excitement for Judaism, for excitement for learning, a passion for learning, and he's played a very. I believe you asked me what has made it so successful. He's definitely one of the main reasons.
Are any non-DRS students doing well this summer? Just curious. There are some you've met who are doing nicely.
Many from all the schools. I told the kids over the summer, I'm not your principal. I'm just another rabbi here, and I enjoyed, honestly, Nachum, personally. The reason I've come back, not from my family, what my family's gotten out of this program, what I personally have gotten out of this program, being in Eretz Yisrael, learning and having my vacation, my 4 weeks of being away from the 5 towns for 4 weeks. But to be in Eretz Yisrael and to learn and from myself and my family, I get by giving myself. So it's a win-win for us all.
Are you
around.
Officially retired from the basketball court, or it's still part of your Kollel day?
So that's a very good question.
You like that question?
It's a very good question. I did play in the league for many years, and by the way, many of the Rabbeim played in the league. Some of the Rosh Yeshiva played in the league also for many years. Some of them will still be in the 3-on-3 tournament next week, maybe in the intermediate division, not in the honors division.
They can't resist.
So I was for a while, but I made the decision a couple years ago to retire more toward the base management. I do a lot of walking and some running. But that's where I leave it at. I've retired. Most of the other Rebbes play, though.
Because, as funny as it sounds, that's also an important component.
Absolutely.
To all of this, I know it sounds absurd to some people listening, but the basketball actually enhances everything else that's going on.
100%. And the whole goal of this program is that Judaism is something you can relate to. And if the Rebbes and the Rosh Yeshiva are also playing ball with the kids, so then when they're in Shir, the kids will listen to what the Rebbes have to say. If the Rebbes are at least on the same wavelength, that they also enjoy what the kids enjoy, so they're relatable. And that's a huge part of chinuch nowadays. And that's what makes, I think, NCSY Kollel very successful as well. Rabbi Benovitz, his team, I think, is 9-2
wow.
in the league. He has a chance. He hasn't ever won a championship, but he's knocking on the door this year.
It sounds like you're a step away from accusing him of taking some ringers on his team.
No, because he hasn't won in 25 years. So
there's no way he's starting that now, huh?
No.
Look, Rabbi Kamenetsky, we know that your late father, who just passed away recently, was such an important person to so many people listening right now. I hope that at some point he was able to visit here and see all of this. I assume he did, right?
Absolutely. My father, as you know, Nachum, spent 3 years as the national director of NCSY.
Right.
During those 3 years, he certainly spent time here. But even not those years, whenever he was involved in MDS or in the YNJ, other places, he would come here. And I can tell you, Nachum, there's so many YNJ kids here on the Kollel, and I've just spent the last 2 weeks. Anytime I see a YNJ kid, I say, "Tell me a story about my father." Tell me, and I've heard some. Not the time now, but right. So it's my father definitely had a big piece, and this is what my father was all about. Also, having the kids, enjoy their learning and to enjoy it. My father, one of the last pictures of my father was him holding up the hockey trophy of YNJ won the hockey championship. Of course, the learning and the davening, but he also understood that the sports and the other stuff is very important for kids' development as well.
And I brought him up because, of course, we all miss him, and we should only celebrate Smachot together. Rabbi Yossi Kamenetsky, Educational Director here at NCSY Kollel, and during the year, of course, Rosh Hashiva DRS on Long Island. Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure, Nachum.
Enjoy Shabbos Nachamu with the boys.
I certainly will.
It'll be a good one. It'll be a good one. My thanks to Yossi Kamenetsky. And now the man of the hour. I announced last night at Yom NCSY during the first minutes of our show from there that one of the themes of our broadcast this year will be a very significant anniversary. This man is responsible not only for hundreds, and I'm sure the number is even larger than that, of public school youth being attracted to Torah in the Torah environment. We're getting to that stage now that we hit 20 years where we're going to start saying that there are children and grandchildren in this whole process.
We're there already.
We're there already.
Grandchildren.
That are only in our community and dedicated to Torah and Torah values because of TJJ. I refer to Rabbi Barry Goldfisher, director and founder of TJJ. Happy 20th anniversary!
Thank you.
I hope the last couple of days have been eventful for you, and all this recognition is something that you've been able to enjoy. I hope.
It's been an amazing 20 years. This is not a personal honor. This is an honor really for people standing around me right now. Everyone who has been involved with the creation of TJJ and seeing it through the years. We started this program 20 years ago. Rabbi Steve Berg, Rena Emerson is in the room right now.
Right.
It's an honor for our bus rabbis, our bus directors, all the different national administrations, the regional administrations, the donors, everyone who has raised the money, Rabbi Weil,
the Sampson family,
the Steckler family. It's been an incredible partnership. It's certainly not about one person. It's about scores and scores and scores. Our advisors and of course the kids.
And Rabbi Noam Koenigsberg, of course, is sitting next to you, and he has been over the years an amazing spokesman for a TJJ, and we'll certainly get his comments as well. The Ann Sampson Jerusalem Journey, TJJ as it's commonly known, is celebrating its 20th year. Public school students, who for whatever reason made a commitment over these last 20 years to spend at least one summer in Israel. I can only imagine that it's not always easy for them. There are parental concerns, right? We want the parents to give their blessing. Sometimes it's a little bit of an issue. We know that they're an environment in public school where their classmates and their colleagues won't always understand why they're spending their summer in this way. But as we just met a couple of minutes ago, Mechina students who are proudly going back to public school and telling their classmates what they've been doing over the summer. It seems that same type of pride ends up in the TJJ student after each summer. Would you agree?
Thank God. It's a first of all, in terms of the parent issue. Nowadays, parents are on board. We have sessions with the parents. We work in unison with the parents. When we started the program, 20 years ago,
a little different.
It was a little different. We had to start. It was a little bit we're undercover. We didn't broadcast perhaps the first year NCSY OU, but now we're certainly very, very transparent. And so we want to bring the parents on board. In fact, I'm sure you've heard about the TJJ Moms programs, and parents are now coming, and they're getting a slice of TJJ as well. So it's an incredible ride. It's an incredible summer where the kids...
How many buses this summer?
This year we have 11 TJJ buses.
Right.
We have TJ Ambassadors.
Right,
we have TJ Ambassadors Poland.
Right. Spoke with them.
And in June we actually piloted a trip of JSU participants from Atlanta under the leadership of Rabbi Chaim Neidich, which was a huge success. And it might open up the doors to expanding this program much more significantly. Again, moving away perhaps, focusing more on the JSU population.
We've given Rabbi Koenigsberg the responsibility of which bus this summer. What magic number bus does he have this summer?
He's on magic number 9.
Number 9. I've been told that 9 is the one you give to future Hall of Famers at TJJ. That's what I've been told. Would that be accurate, Barry?
He's a Hall of Famer.
He's a Hall of Famer. Rabbi Koenigsberg, are you enjoying the TJJ 2018 experience?
I would say that enjoying is not the word. It's really a privilege. It's, believe it or not, it's inspiring for me as a Rebbe in yeshiva all year long. I teach in yeshiva at Shalvim, and who contributes very much to NCSY, but at the same time I feel that I wait for the summer to see these kids trying a Shabbos, getting up on chairs at a Shabbos table and singing, Esa Einai Eloharim, the words of David HaMelech, and to be able to be part of kindling that flame. I'm so thankful to Rabbi Goldfisher for allowing me to do that, and David Cutler for having me on board. It's tremendous.
What is the first Shabbos like? Is it a big transition Shabbos? Are there kids who really are unfamiliar with some of the intricacies and details of Shabbos that becomes evident to someone like you?
The kids in our notes, going into the first Shabbos in our notes, we had a half hour before candlelighting explain to the kids what Shabbos is. Just
Real
explain
basic.
to them what it is. What's the concept of rest in the Torah? What are we trying to accomplish? And what are our goals?
Oh, before you get to the rules and regulations, you're just
Right,
telling
just
them
the
this is going to be
concept.
different than any other weekend you've ever spent.
Exactly. Really, the only thing they know is they were asked to come dressed up.
Right. Dressed
And they're-
differently than during the week.
And they're there a half hour before, and the concept of a Zemer of Shabbos,
Right.
and the Avirah, the atmosphere of Shabbos, and the Kedusha. And we just had our second Shabbos on TJJ a few days ago, and we already had a number of participants, I would say over 10, that decided they would like to try to keep it. They gave us their phones, said please take our phones until Havdalah. And it was a tremendous experience, so inspiring.
Unbelievable.
This is 20 years later. Let's take you back 20 years before, where Rabbi Berg and I and Rian Emerson were sitting in a room an hour before Shabbos. I'm thinking, what do we do? We've never done this before. Public school kids for a full Shabbos, and we've done it in Shabbatons, but it's much different when there's no yeshiva population involved. And now, as Rabbi Noam describes, it's in the manual. We know what to do,
Right.
and we have the professionals who do it.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I pointed out over the last two broadcasts is that now that it's not always great when procedures get formalized, etc. But in this case, the way your leadership has adjusted to what I sort of call a seminar-like, degree program. I mean, you train them to, really cover every base possible. And obviously it's to the advantage of all the kids. Right, Barry Goldfisher, I know I'm Konigsberg. Now, so that's the Shabbos transition. How about the weekday transition when you are trying to convince them or alert them to the fact that every day begins with tefillah, that there's an hour, I believe. Isn't there an hour of Torah study, which is a lot in a TJJ type program? When you try to encourage them, use this hour for Torah study, and of course so many other things that go on a typical Jewish day. What's that transition like?
Well, look, Rabbi Goldfisher was brilliant in setting up the day in such a way where the kids are empowered to choose if they want an actual explanatory minyan in the morning or a tefillah workshop where they learn about the tefillah. So the kids are actually empowered to choose. They feel a lot of responsibility. And those who come to the minyan really want to be there.
Called the Temple of Love. Temple of Love. And you have someone like Rav Noam who gets up with his guitar and brings it to life. And
yeah, music's got to be a massive component to all of this, I would guess. They're learning Jewish songs for the first time, right? And they'll remember them forever, obviously. And by the time you get to the last Shabbos, they are spiritually enhanced, right?
They're actually on fire.
On fire, maybe a better description than spiritually enhanced. And they are set to go back to their public schools and I guess incorporate a lot of these changes to their own life, right? Again, we don't know who's keeping Shabbos afterwards, etc., and who's making those types of commitments, but their lives are certainly being changed. I mean, that's an understatement.
Talk about tangible growth.
Right.
And every kid is different, but no one's going to walk out the way they came in. It could be keeping 2 hours of Shabbos at first. It could be saying the Shema, switching to yeshiva, choosing to study for a year in Eretz Israel. So every kid, we every night we sit and we talk about the kids and we try to chart their progress, whether it's personal goals, religious goals, spiritual goals, and that's a huge component of the trip.
Have you met TJJ grads at Shalvim?
Not at Shalvim. Shalvim really doesn't cater to that population, but I did meet just about a week ago a TJJer from 2 summers ago when I was doing a Florida bus. She got on fire during TJJ, got involved in Florida NCSY. I met her this summer. She's on Kollel.
Wow.
And she was a girl that on the first day of TJJ raised her hand during orientation just to say, I was told that tefillah on TJJ is not mandatory. I'm just making sure. Because I had no intention of doing that stuff. And today she's a Bas Torah on Michlelet, Tsanua. And just this radical shift is so inspiring to see.
I have the schus to teach in the seminary Mechol Mayan. So we have tens of students every year of graduates of TJJ.
What a feeling
who have gone on to become our advisors for TJJ.
What a feeling that must be.
Tremendous.
Simply remarkable.
Another great privilege is to work this summer with advisors who they themselves are TJJ graduates.
Something you can never say. Right. You're not a TJJ grad.
Correct.
But they
are.
I'm jealous. You're jealous of them. But they are. Yeah. They bring that whole unique experience to the table when they're interacting with the youth now, which is so remarkable. Oh, Rabbi Goldfisher, happy 20th anniversary.
Thank you,
we should be here on the 30th and the 40th also. To say the least. And again, the numbers staggering, not just this summer, but the numbers of generations that are affected and those who are, who really owe their Jewish present and Jewish future to TJJ is remarkable. So mazal tov to you. And Rabbi Konigsberg, always a pleasure to reunite with you, as you know.
Thank you, Nachum.
And bus number 9, they get the special shout out this morning. Bus number 9.
Go Canada.
Go Canada. That's right. Thank you, Rabbi.
Shabbos.
Great seeing you. Enjoy Shabbos Nachamu with TJJ. Oh, my gosh, I'll tell you. David Cutler is the director of the NCSY Israel programs, NCSY summer programs. He is the one who dares to announce year after year more programs. You're well deserving of an NSN shirt. You may as well. And he is here. I've had a smile on my face for the last hour and a half. You realize this is insane.
It really is.
I mean, this is it's unbelievable. The stories I am hearing. I don't know what you heard and what you didn't hear prior to this conversation. We had right behind me students from California and Ohio who are going back to their public school and telling their tennis team teammates and their schoolmates that they spent the summer in Israel on a relatively intense Torah program. These are Mechina students who are on Kollel essentially for the summer, and we know that there are even more women doing Mechina with Michlele. Just that alone is amazing.
Yeah, we started it last summer with 15 boys here in Kollel, and everyone's always, it's a very interesting idea to take public school kids who are somewhat unaffiliated and put them here in the base matters with these boys. And you didn't know how it was going to go the first year, and it was unbelievably successful.
I don't know how it works.
So then we expanded it to the girls program this year.
Right.
And it turns out the girls got even more than the boys this year. And it's going great. It's one of those things that you just say, wow. You're shocked that it was so great. Now it's like, we actually had a meeting yesterday. We had a breakfast meeting at the plaza here in Yerushalayim, 12 of us from NCSY, to brainstorm how to make sure this program continues and actually grows to the point where we have 50 to 100 kids like this.
That does create somewhat of a problem for you because space in these programs is at a premium, right? You want to go from 15 to 50. You're talking about, balance things out a little bit differently than you have.
So it was a big problem that we mentioned, but it's a good problem to have.
Yeah,
and
it's a good problem.
We'll worry about it when we get there.
Yeah, I understand that. That's for sure. NCSY's goal. I think this statement is accurate. If you ask those who founded the organization in the 50s, 60s, 70s, I think it would be accurate to say that their ultimate goal was to get public school Jewish youth into some type of yeshiva environment. Obviously, the yeshiva world has been so enhanced by NCSY, yeshiva students, day school students, etc., so enhanced by NCSY. But the ultimate goal, I think, if you would ask them, the original leaders, would be to get as many public school youth as possible. We see this happening now at an unbelievable level. We just spoke about the 20th anniversary of TJJ. I still have trouble understanding why a public school kid would want to do this or that during the summer, but look what's happening. 400 or 500 students doing it, 11 busloads.
Think about it, though. Let's say we have 600-700 kids from public school here this summer. It means there are thousands and thousands and thousands more that we're not impacting.
A lot of Jewish youth out there.
There really are. So as much as an accomplishment as that is, and I guess maybe I'm a glass half full, half empty, I'm not sure. There's so much more that we can and have to do. And it's just because we're the professionals. I think we're the ultimate professionals in this idea of running a program for public school kids, but it's being run by people that are, quote unquote, Orthodox, and we're such a non-judgmental, nourishing type of organization where we just want to make people love their Jewish heritage and connect. People sometimes think we're NCSY and we want to make everyone from, and certainly we want people to come to Eretz Yisrael for their gap year, but someone who comes to us in high school and then just marries Jewish, what a huge accomplishment that is.
Barry alluded to the fact that years ago at the beginning of TJJ, that was one of the problems, that parents didn't believe that TJJ, the OU, etc., was non-judgmental. Once that comfort zone, began, where parents realized they really are non-judgmental, it was much easier to get the students to come on a program like this.
Yeah, so it's still probably our biggest challenge. I'd say that and one of the birthright program, which is amazing, and I don't have any problem with that, but it is free. It's still, even our program, which is subsidized, sometimes that can be a battle. But the biggest problem still is we're walking around with our kippot, and we're still a Shomer Shabbos and Shomer Kashrus organization. So the good question is, why would a kid come on our program when they can go on a different kind of program? I guess you would say with no rules. And the answer is because we're just this loving environment where they're spiritually energized. They connect, and Eretz Yisrael is really our key. We have other programs, and they're all great in Baltimore and Europe, but the key for us, that this is our homeland,
right.
And no matter what kind of Jew you are, everyone connects here to Eretz Yisrael. And that's
David Tutler's with us, directs NCSY summer programs, Israel and beyond. The different niche programming that's being addressed by your organization now is, I would say, to be admired. It's also, sometimes it sounds a little crazy. I couldn't believe that so many students would want to spend their summer doing emergency medical work in Israel. And we know how successful that program has become.
Really
I didn't believe that there could be a surfing program that where the program again is centered on surfing and Torah, and that could be attractive to students. I also didn't believe that there'd be enough opportunity in Israel, both in the corporate and organizational world, to get enough companies and organizations to cooperate with your internship program. And yet, all these numbers are remarkably growing like crazy.
I think that's really one of the special things. You hear 19 programs and you hear 1,600 kids, and there are so many different kinds of kids. We used to have touring of Israel. Come to Israel and you tour. You go around.
Right.
Those days are dead. Those days, there are still programs that somewhat do that, but everyone wants just much more diversity and much more bang for your buck. So if you're coming to Israel or you're spending your summer somewhere, you don't want to just tour. There has to be touring with some kind of twist. So whether it's an internship or whether it's getting a first responder certificate, or even really just sitting here learning with Kollel and even our Kollel and Kollel programs, they're so much more diverse than there used to be. They're Tiyulim, where we go, who we talk to, the kind of speakers that come in, the locations that we go to. Everything now is just so much more diverse and so much more awesome. You know what I'm saying? We offer so much that it's we're proud to say no matter what you're like, no matter where your background, what you like to do, we have something for you.
It's public information that pre-registration has started, right?
There's an email going out today that basically pre-registration for summer 2019 is starting. And you can sign up now, and you basically get a discounted rate when the real open application opens up after Yom Tov. You get a nice discount.
And pre-registration does fill a good number of slots, I would assume?
Yeah. So I say last year we had close to 1,000 people that pre-registered. And, it's just a way of expressing your interest. You don't officially get to save a spot, but you get to tell us you're interested. And then we talk to you, and we, fill in. A lot of people thank God are now our cousins and, siblings or whatever it is. So. But we're, like I said, the 2 new programs that we're starting next summer, you can pre-register for those already, and it's exciting that we're already starting for next summer now.
So as we speak to parents, and we're doing so right now through this forum, they should just know all this has to be done early. Whether they pre-register or not, in general, act early when it comes to the NCSY summer program.
It's very hard to describe. Sometimes people ask me, what do you do the rest of the year? Right? So it's a very funny question, which makes me want to punch people in the face sometimes. But the truth is, you really, for the more popular programs, which are really majority of them, you need to really register by December or January at the latest, and that's when they're full. We're going to open October 4th. Right. 2 days after Yom Tov, we're going to open up. And some of the programs really right away just get a tremendous boom. Kollel and Kollel last couple of years, bam. And if you didn't apply early, it's really tough to get in.
What do you think of this program? What do you think of this specific place that we're in tonight? Last year, you remember, we spoke at Kollel. This year, we're back in the Kollel-based medrash here at NCSY Kollel. What do you think of this program specifically?
What I think people would be surprised to learn about this program is that you said it's the epicenter. And the reason it is because all the other programs almost pass through here. Kollel is looked at as our flagship yeshiva program, and you'd be very surprised to know that the public school programs come in here and have such, and it's a dual impact. The Kollel kids are impacted by the public school kids as much as the public school kids are impacted by the yeshiva kids, and that's what NCSY is special. We have staff that is so trained to take a kid who's in yeshiva his whole life and integrate him properly with a kid who's literally experiencing their first Shabbos or first time looking at a beis medrash or any one of the Sfarim in here. And for all the programs to pass through here and spend a day here playing basketball, going on Tiyulims, in the beis medrash with Rav Sobolowski, with Rav Schechter, and the fact that they can actually make themselves available and the kids walk out of here saying that was great. And to have a Mechina program that's here, it's a very special thing when this program could be such an impact for all kinds of different
kids. And we should note that tonight on this Friday morning broadcast, 3 buses of TJJ are here right now, right?
Yep.
Is that like 100 or so kids? And it must be at least
it's the boys, so it's about half of that, but it's
50 boys?
Yeah, so it's incredible.
And if one would walk in here there'd be no way for them to distinguish who's who.
No,
There'd
you would never know it.
This looks like a regular Kollel-based Medrash
100%.
night.
You would never know.
Even
Thursday
you and I
night.
would not be able to determine who's from what background.
The Thursday night program here in Kollel is amazing, and the fact that these buses come in also and they're sitting here learning with these kids tonight and are going to daven Marv together, and then someone's getting engaged right after Marv. There's going to be a big party here for that, so it's going to be.
How come every time we show up here, there's some type of celebration?
Yeah, it's just it's a celebratory type of summer here, so it's great.
Rabbi Goldfisher was acknowledged last night at Yom NCSY. What an accomplishment! 20 years and really bringing students in an incredible and amazing environment, and he has to be commended for what has happened in TJJ all these years. So he gets a big happy anniversary. Remarkable the work that they're doing, and as you mentioned, the incredible opportunity that everybody of all backgrounds have to spend with Rabbeim, who are such an important part of this program. I joked earlier that marketing for any summer program never included spend the summer with a rabbi. But now, all these Yeshiva high schools do is spread the word that you could be with Rav Shechter all summer long. It's a different type of marketing ploy these days.
I'll tell you something really interesting. Just a few years ago, there was a father who signed his boy up for Kollel, and he got a call from Rabbi Leibowitz, our assistant director here, for the interview. And he told him the schedule. He said, we learn 6-7 hours a day. And the father calls Rabbi Leibowitz back and says, "What are you doing? You told my son there's 7 hours of learning." This is literally only like 5-6 years ago. And we don't hide that. The name of the program is NCSY Kollel, and that's what father was furious. Withdrew his son, said, "That's not what I want." And you fast forward now 5, 6, 7 years, and it's just the opposite.
That's what they want.
Mom is the opposite. It's like, it's fun. It's unbelievable, and it's the fact that an NCSY Kollel program can thrive in today's day and age is unbelievable. And the fact that, Rabbi Barry Goldfisher, like you said, a tremendous Ben Torah, tremendous Talmud Chacham, but for him to understand the mind of a public school kid who has never experienced the Shabbos, and to be able to get inside and understand that you combine the Eretz Yisrael, the heritage in Eretz Yisrael, the history of Eretz Yisrael, and he designs the itineraries, the education. For him to have a mind that really understands these kids and be he's not some just guy who speaks Hebrew. He's a real Ben Torah, a real Talmud Chacham. And to understand these kids the way he does makes him one of the most unique people I've ever met in my life.
All right, David Cutler, after your big announcement at Yom NCSY, what are the chances of JMDM being broadcast from Thailand next summer?
I don't know. That's a lot of flying. You got to tell me. Personally, I don't plan on making that trip.
And the reason I ask is because, some might think someone in the organization is a little crazy, but it's not just go to Amsterdam and then Israel, or go to Poland and then Israel, or go to Italy and then Israel. Now you're going to be encouraging through a new program, go to Thailand and then Israel. How did this come about?
Well, to be honest, we were approached by an organization called Justify. They're an educational organization that really started with H. Torah, really wonderful educational guys who run these programs. They run programs in different, very cool destinations around the world. They just added India, Sri Lanka, Nicaragua, and there's Thailand, and there's one more which I can't remember at the moment. Wow. And the idea is, look, Eretz Yisrael is the place that we are going to come to Israel after Thailand. But there are beautiful locations in the world that you should go see, and there's chesed and service missions that they do in Thailand. So the land is beautiful and it's very exotic. You're also going to be doing chesed while you're there, and then you come to Eretz Yisrael and you have your experience here. But it's that was the biggest buzz I think that was created last night. Is everyone was like, I want to go to Thailand. I want to go to Thailand. So it's,
is that going to be open to both men and women?
Yes, it's a co-ed program. And it's going to be, like I said, it's about a 4-week program altogether. You spend about 10 days in Thailand and 2.5 weeks in Eretz Yisrael. And it's very exciting.
Finally, and I've asked you this before, but I'd like you to say it again. Tell me about the last few hours of Tisha B'Av when NCSY Kollel is at the Kotel Amaravi.
So I'll tell you, it's now called, when we first started it, the really broadcasting and it started taking off, someone named it Kumsitz of the World. And I was thinking, what kind of name is that? Kumsitz of the World? There are a lot of Kumsitzes, and we have now such a following. Our website crashed on Sunday night. We have thousands of people who were tuning in, well over 1,500, 2,000 people that were literally gathered around with us, and people coming over to us, thanking us. It's become a really, really powerful way to end Tisha B'Av. And people from really around the world are watching and singing and joining with us. And I can't imagine a better way to end Tisha B'Av.
We should mention. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if Mashiach would have come, that would have been the ultimate, fitting end to Tisha B'Av.
And the right place.
The right place. So instead, we went and had a wonderful breakfast at Piccolino, and it was a wonderful way to end it. But it was. I can't imagine ending in any other place, any other way.
And we should mention, because this audience would appreciate it, Jewish music plays a very important role in every one of your summer programs.
It really does. I mean, that's Shabbos, and at Shabbos ebbs away. We call it ebbing on NCSY. At the Shalosh Shudas time when kids, you saw last night at NCSY, one of the most popular at Yom NCSY, we had a tribute to the directors.
Right.
And they said thank you, and everyone singing Tov Lahodos. So music to us is a very, very special way to connect. For me personally, I love singing. So Kabbalah Shabbos and singing at Ebbing, it's the most special way to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And last night, as everyone is singing their Tov Lahodos, and it's just very special.
David Cutler, he leads NCSY's summer programs, Israel and outside of Israel. Most of them are here in the Holy Land. Thank you so much again. Always a pleasure to meet up here in Israel with you.
Thanks so much, and we look forward to the rest of this and next year, and God willing, for many years to come.
Thank you so much. There he is, David Cutler. More coming up as we continue here at JM in the AM. Erin Stiebel is with us. She is the director of the GIVE program, which I've become more and more familiar with over the years. You might be aware of the fact that one of my daughters was a GIVE participant years ago, and you might be aware of the fact that one of our daughters this year is what you call, I believe, a madricha, right? That would be the appropriate term?
Yes, we call her a GIVE advisor.
A GIVE advisor.
And she advises very well, I'll tell you that.
Does she advise?
She's pretty fantastic.
I was wondering if I should seek advice from her. You would say yes, it would be a good idea.
I'd say she'd probably advise you to wear a fanny pack in public. So I don't really know if you want to take that advice, but we've loved getting to know the Seagull girls, so thank you for sharing them with us.
How long has GIVE been around?
GIVE started in 2005.
Now, tell me if I'm right. The concept was we are going to give these young ladies a chance, obviously, to be in a Torah environment, but in addition to that, really spend a lot of time during the day and the average week working on different chesed programs and meeting people who are in need in Israel. Would that be accurate?
100%. Yeah, GIVE is it's an amazing opportunity to take high school girls and bring them to Israel and show them Judaism through a different lens. It's not about what happens in the four walls of your classroom. It's about recognizing the toolbox that God has given you and being able to dip into that and say, I have a skill to put a smile on someone's face. I can walk into a nursing home and engage someone. I am very artistic. I can go and paint a mural in an underprivileged kindergarten. These girls realize their skills and their talents, and one of my favorite pieces about the program is that our girls come from all walks of life. We have girls from public school, we have girls from Beis Yaakov, we have everybody in between, and they grow and they learn from each other because everybody can shine in an environment where you're volunteering and doing a chesed.
One of the professionals at the OU said to me yesterday that GIVE is the star of the 2018 summer. Now, why? Why would it be that this year GIVE has really, in an outstanding fashion, shown themselves to be a phenomenal program?
Well, I'm blushing. I'll tell you that.
I'm telling you, it's true.
I think that GIVE is always a program that shines because it gives every girl on the program a chance to really step out of her comfort zone and recognize her potential. So the girls in the program don't just have a fun summer. They have a growth-oriented summer personally, and they recognize on a communal level how they can make a difference. So I would hope that they were able to look at our leadership and say, oh my God, they have the best advisors, hashtag Nachum Siegel's daughter, and the best bus directors. We have Miriam Bornstein running one of our buses. We have Shosh Grad running one of our buses. Both very, very talented staff members we've had for years already, been in the NCSY system. Our advisors are here as volunteers, as all the NCSY summer program advisors are, just because they want to go and make a difference in the lives of these girls. And you really feel that love. You feel that energy when you walk into our space. You feel like this positive excitement for Judaism that is fresh and that is real and that is engaging.
Does GIVE still have an end of summer major program where I believe, if I have a good recollection, they either did a wedding or a bat mitzvah, something like that? They don't do that anymore?
Michlalet does that, and it's an amazing, amazing program. Michlalet does, yeah. But we actually had the opportunity.
So I mixed up my summer programs.
You're doing great.
Come on.
NCSY is NCSY. We're all part of the same family. We did have an amazing opportunity this week for each one of our buses. We have 2 buses each with 45 girls this year, living on different campuses. One of them had an amazing chesed opportunity to throw my mom a 60th birthday party. It was a surprise party, and it was wild. I can't tell you how happy it made her. She she needed to pick me up. She's had a rough year and a half, and it was an amazing chesed. She loves it, and the girls loved it. And then this morning, actually, our other bus threw a bridal shower for a kala. This is an amazing story. There was a kid from the Bronx who became involved just peripherally in a shul in the Bronx, ended up at Camp Sports, decided to become frum, ended up in yeshiva in Israel, has been here for 10 years, doesn't really have much family left, and reached out to the Lukens, said, I just got engaged to this girl who converted from Poland. We're getting married in a week and a half, and we don't have much. So they reached out to give through her bridal shower. We raised the money, all tzedakah money put together.
Right.
To,
that was right. They are still doing programs like that.
To be able to, I mean, it's a fluke. We've never done it before, but it was a beautiful morning. And just this morning, I'm such a high. And the kala looked at me, and she doesn't have the best English, but with the English she had, she said, I feel so good. And she just had this glowing smile. And I think that's what it's all about, being able to meet people and see them face to face. It's not about just writing a letter to a soldier and hoping that it reaches somebody. It's seeing in their eyes the difference that you can make just with one little action of kindness.
Erin Stiebel's with us. You're originally from where?
Silver Spring, Maryland.
Silver Spring, Maryland. She's director of Give. And you know who's sitting to your left?
What? Who? Oh, my gosh.
Chava Siegel, the aforementioned daughter of mine.
The wonderful.
Is here. Thank you very much. You're having a good summer so far?
I'm having an incredible summer.
Not easy, huh? Not easy being an advisor, a madricha, for Jewish youth from the United States.
But
let's really play this up, Chava. Come on. Say it again. I'm sorry.
I said, but it's extremely rewarding to do chesed with so many teenage women every single day.
Yeah, that must be pretty cool, to say the least. And how many are there like Chava? You have a staff of that's how large in order to...
Each bus has 5 advisors, an assistant director, and a bus director. So 7 American staff in total for 45 girls.
What's been the highlight of the summer? Is there one that you could tell me from your perspective?
It's the chesed stories that go unnoticed until they're noticed that I enjoy the most. For example, Give has a tradition where every year we get fanny packs, which I'm wearing right now with pride, and we wear them every single day. And they're very special, and every single camper only gets one of them, and it's theirs to keep for the summer and forever. And we went to a nursing home a few weeks ago, and one of the ladies in the nursing home asked one of our campers for her fanny pack, which was a really big deal because you only get one, and you're supposed to wear it every day. And the camper quietly gave her one, and she was the happiest woman I ever saw. Those stories that really brighten my day on Give.
Those little things, those little gestures, very cool. And I think, again, if I remember how Give began, it's those types of things that you had in mind in those days, was to, really encourage the Jewish youth to do these little things, think of others on both a small level and a larger level.
Yeah, I think specifically now in 2018, with all the distractions going on around us and all the pressures in school and everything being about your college resume, a chance to just step outside and say, oh my gosh, like, I have these skills, I have these talents, like having fun, going to a nursing home, like that's meaningful. That makes me a valued member of Kollel Yisrael. I think people forget that,
Amazing. Yes, Chava.
I wanted to share that we went to a hospital a few weeks ago and did medical clowning. And after we went, one of the campers came over to me and she said, I think I want to continue this during the year. So when I get home, I'll sign up. And I said, no, why don't we sign up right now? You're on a high. You're so excited. Let's get in touch with your hospital. And she's on it.
I'm beaming because that's spoken like a true Siegel. that is fantastic. Absolutely wonderful. Chava Siegel, Erin Stiebel. Erin is director of Give, and they're having an amazing summer of 2018, it sounds like.
Oh, fantastic.
Thank you so much for being here, coming all the way to Beit Meir.
Oh, my gosh. It was a fun drive down the windy highways of Israel late at night. Thank you for this.
Well, it's much appreciated.
I had great company in the car.
And Chava, thank you.
Thank you.
And I will try my hardest to schlep whatever I can back to New York for you.
Thank you.
Because I'm going to do my own chesed.
Yeah.
Give is doing chesed all summer. This will be my chesed. Take it. But by the way, is the trunk of the car filled with Chava stuff?
Obviously.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
like 6 suitcases
What are you doing
so.
to me? What are you doing to me? All right, we'll go to this selection. More coming up on a Friday morning. JM and the AM reminder, the weekly update with Malcolm Hoenlein will return next week. Meanwhile, we continue with an amazing brand new selection from Shlomi Gertner. It's Friday morning, Erev Shabbos Nachamu at JM and the AM.
Hey, everybody come along for the ride. Hey, are you really gonna stay inside? Yeah, put your hands in the air. Yeah, we're going somewhere. Hey, everybody come along for the ride. Hey, are you really gonna stay inside? Yeah, put your hands in the air. Oh yeah. times are rough, so much stuff is going on. Leave it to Hashem, He's the one in control. Tensions high, pressure rise, you can leave it all behind. Let a new dimension take hold. Feel a different beat, yeah. Springs under your feet, yeah. Troubles melt like snow. Let it go. Oh, hey, everybody, come along for the ride. Hey, are you really gonna stay inside? Yeah, put your hands in the air, yeah. We're going somewhere. Hey, everybody, come along for the ride. Hey, are you really gonna stay inside? Yeah, put your hands in the air, oh yeah. We're gonna be there. Ride on the feeling, break through the ceiling, happy and free. Ride on the feeling, break through the ceiling, happy and free. Life is great, celebrate. Take the time to meditate. Nothing's gonna run away so easy, my friend. Find release, inner peace. Slow down the velocities. It's gonna be alright in the end. Feel a different beat, yeah. Springs under your feet, yeah. Troubles melt like snow. Let it go. Hey, everybody, come along for the ride. Hey, are you really gonna stay inside? Yeah, put your hands in the air. Yeah, we're gonna be there. Hey, everybody, come along for the ride. Hey, are you really gonna stay inside? Yeah, put your hands in the air. Oh yeah, we're gonna be there. Ride on the feeling, break through the ceilings, happy and free. Ride on the feeling, break through the ceiling, happy and free, happy and free. Hey, everybody, come along for the ride. Hey, are you really gonna stay inside? Yeah, put your hands in the air. Yeah, we're going somewhere. Hey, everybody, come along for the ride. Hey, are you really gonna stay inside? Yeah, put your hands in the air. Oh yeah, we're gonna be there. Ride on the feeling, break through the ceiling, happy and free. Ride on the feeling, break through the ceiling, happy and free. Hey, everybody, come along for the ride. Hey, are you really gonna stay inside? Yeah, put your hands in the air. Yeah, we're going somewhere. Hey, everybody, come along for the ride. Hey, are you really gonna stay inside? Yeah, put your hands in the air. Oh yeah, we're gonna be there.
JM in the AM. Wrapping up our 7 o'clock hour at America's one and only Jewish Moments in the Morning radio program, heard on listeners-sponsored digital radio around the world on the web at NachumSegal.com, on the Nachum Segal Network, and, of course, on the beloved NSN app. Weekly update with Malcolm Hoenlein returns 1 week from now. Now, I am told that is Marv a real 10 o'clock here? Real 10 o'clock. The clock strikes 10. So this is important for our radio. You know, Marv in general is important schedule-wise, but for us, it's a great concern because what's going to happen is as they daven Marv here at NCSY Kollel, our listeners are going to benefit because we've got some amazing music coming up while that happens. All right, that's what we're going to be doing here at JM in the AM. That's it? They're starting? Okay, we'll go to the music. Plenty more coming up. Keep it here at JM in the AM.
Hayav Yehudi levarech
רבות בנות עשו חיים, עשו חיים מהטלית הכולנה. רבות בנות עשו חיים, עשו חיים מהטלית הכולנה. Shalom, boi v'shalom. Ateres balom. Gam b'simcha u'v'tzahala, b'simcha u'v'tzahala. Boi v'shalom, boi v'shalom. Ateres balom. Gam b'simcha u'v'tzahala, b'simcha u'v'tzahala. Toch emunei, am segula, boi kalom. Toch emunei, am segula, boi kalom.
JM in the AM, music from Baruch Levine, Bowie Vishalom. Before that, you heard some Gershon Veroba in there. We also had the Come Over Now selection from Yaakov Shweki. A bit subdued because in the background you hear Rabbi Bennett's addressing the gathering here at NCSY Kollel. They are about to break into a big celebration here at NCSY Kollel, and they are together tonight with the TJJ, 3 buses of TJJ boys who have joined them to be part of their Thursday night Mishmar. They're heading to Tzfat tomorrow morning. We remind everybody in New York that candlelighting is at 7:56 on this Erev Shabbos Nachamu, Erev Shabbos Parshas V'es Chanon. This time each and every Friday morning, every Erev Shabbos, with great pleasure we present Rabbi Benjamin Yudin, spiritual leader of Congregation Shomrei Torah in Fair Lawn, New Jersey, to address the entire listening audience concerning the Torah portion of the week. Good morning, Rabbi Yudin. All right. Thank you very much, Rabbi Yudin. Always appreciate his words, especially the last 3 weeks when he was in Israel. Now he's back in the United States and addresses us every single Friday about the Torah portion of the week. We are at NCSY Kollel. We are focused tonight, as we have been for the last couple of days, on the incredible NCSY summer programs. We are in the base medrash of the NCSY Kollel here in Beit Meir, and we are minutes away from a big celebration that's going to be happening here as part of the Thursday night Mishmar here at NCSY Kollel. Our special guest, someone who's been with us before, who has been leading a program called Michlelet for a number of years. We'll find out that number in a moment. Is Mrs. Rivka Yudin. Mrs. Rivka Yudin, shalom, and welcome to JM in the AM.
Thank you so much for having me.
A return performance for you.
Exactly.
Do you remember last year we were actually at Michlelet?
Yes, it was a closer ride.
Yes.
Thank God.
That I'm sure. And it was a pretty cool experience for us. I hope you enjoyed it.
We did.
Well, you know what the purpose of tonight is? Tonight is really to get a little bit in depth of some of the NCSY summer programs that are going on this summer. You are leading Michlelet for how long?
That's a great question. As you were saying, and I was trying to rack my brains. I feel like it's like 12 or 13 years, but I'm not really sure.
And
honestly,
how old is the program?
Many years. I think my sister-in-law, Javier Rothbach, is actually the first year that she was a camper, but I can't tell you an exact number.
I believe that Yafa Eisenberg mentioned her name to us this week when she was saying that she was one of the first.
See that?
It's why I call it a group. I think Mrs. Fass, if I'm not mistaken. I think
it's definitely possible.
Right, she was in the first group. She mentioned a few women who were there in the significant inaugural year. Well, I'll ask you the general question first. How's Michlelet going this summer?
Thank God it's booming. We are bursting. Thank God, fullest year we've ever had. Baruch Hashem. We actually built on Tarisha a little bit to accommodate everything.
Wow.
And it is an awesome summer. Thank God. So much power. Just left night activity.
Not to take away from any of the things that are happening in Michlelet, but you know what has become the theme, that you've opened up your doors to Mechina students.
Yes,
to students
it is
who are
so
spending their
special.
Year in public school.
Yeah.
I can't even understand.
It's amazing.
Why they would be attracted to a program like this, yet they are, and they take this experience back. And as we were joking earlier, they tell their classmates that this is how they spend their summer. Tell me about these 15 girls who are with you this summer.
It's really an amazing thing. It's great for them. It's great for the yeshiva kids. It's great for everyone. They're really girls who are nominated from their NCSY regions as being able to be future leaders and really are into things. And they come and they are amazing. They're so. My father-in-law, actually, Rabbi Yudin, we just heard from, actually taught them the first half of the summer. He loved it. They loved it. It was such a special experience. And now they have another teacher because he just went back to America. But they are on fire. They are so special and so delicious. And it's so nice to see them so excited. And the girls the yeshiva kids get so inspired from them. They get inspired from the yeshiva kids. It's really, really, really special.
And again, if we walked in, we wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Probably not.
Right?
Probably
not much difference.
Yeah.
Same type of people, same interests.
Exactly. It's amazing. It's so special.
And doing the same types of things this summer, because they're doing literally a Michlelet program.
They are.
Right?
They have their own special learning program, but they are totally integrated.
Right.
So it's amazing. It's really, really an amazing experience.
All right. And for those who are not familiar with the schedule, it's It's Torah intensive, while in the same way it's Israel intensive.
Yes.
You're trying to cover it all each
We
summer.
really have also all of it. We have chesed, learning and fun, and touring. So, I mean, I guess the girls could tell you a little bit of it also, but when we learn, we learn. When we have fun. We tour everywhere. We do chesed. We really, thank God, it's a very well-balanced program. The girls have an awesome, fun time, but they grow so much and they gain so much, and they really feel connected to our Torah and its land.
Have
and
you brought
people.
a nice collection of participants for us this year?
We have.
You brought some of the all-stars with you?
Of course.
Are they talkative?
Let's find out.
Will they give me answers to my questions?
I think they will, and they're not prepped, so.
All right, Rachel Shmuel, I think that's pronounced correctly, is from Edison, New Jersey. Where is she?
Hi.
A pleasure to welcome you to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me how Kollel is going so far this summer.
It's going really well. I really enjoy all the trips and the learning and just meeting new people from all over the country.
Yeah, that must be an interesting experience.
Yeah.
Doing this while at the same time really increasing your social circles. I'm sure you've met people who only know so many of their friends from their Kollel experience, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. A lot of people from different parts of North America. Has there been one specific highlight that you like sharing? That's my typical question, ladies. Is there one specific highlight you'd like to share with us that you've experienced this summer?
My favorite highlight was when I went to the medical clowning, and I got to see all these cheering up all the other people in the hospital and speak to them in different languages. One of them was Russian. I'm learning Russian in school, so that was a good experience. I got to talk to them and just bring a smile to all their faces and giving them coffee and tea and be able to dress up and talk to them and make them feel better.
Very nice. By the way, someone's engaged.
I see that.
Have you picked up on that?
I see that. We have 3 Madrichot on Kollel who are engaged also.
Mazel tov.
Which is very exciting.
Boy, oh boy,
Yes.
things are busy over there,
It is.
So here at Kollel, that's what's happening.
I
An
see
engaged
that.
Madrich
That's so nice.
who's celebrating with his students. We go to Boca Raton, Florida, where Chani Kamenetsky is with us. Chani, how are you? I think we know the Boca Raton Kamenetskys, if I'm not mistaken. Everybody doing well in the family?
Thank God.
And how is your summer so far?
It's been an incredible summer so far, and I'm really looking forward to the next 2.5 weeks.
Is there a big Florida contingent in general?
There is. There's a pretty big Florida contingent.
I would imagine so. What has been your highlight so far in
I would say the
Kollel?
highlight so far was the bridal shower. We made a bridal shower. We put it all together. We decorated the entire dining room. Us and TJJA. We together we danced in the Kala, and it was really just such an amazing experience. Seeing what joy it brought to her and to her mother. It's incredible.
Very nice.
We also make a wedding for a poor couple each summer.
That's
so
cool.
that's the last week of camp. We're looking forward
that's
to
very.
that.
And by the way, you mean every detail.
Yes, every single
You must have
detail.
committees doing different
We
things.
do.
right? Yeah.
We do the chuppah, the chair,
That's very
everything
cool.
you can imagine.
By the way, please note, Mrs. Rivka Yudin, that so far, highlight of the summer has been these chesed experiences.
Yes, you could talk about
the classroom has not yet been
Let's
the.
see.
Let's see what happens. Rivka, I always speak too soon.
Yeah.
Rivka Loeb is here from Chicago, Illinois. Hi, Rivka.
Hi.
How's Michlelet so far?
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, for you hit this every time. Every time you
Thank
ask any of
God.
them, it's always the same reaction.
Thank
Best
God.
summer ever, amazing. You've heard this before, Mrs. Yudin.
It's true. It's true.
Are there others from Chicago on your program?
There are others. There are about 7 girl campers, and then I think 2 Majicho from Chicago. Maybe 3. No, there's 3 Majicho. So
Very cool.
Chicago's taking over.
That's one way of looking at
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And what is your highlight, Rivka Loeb, of the summer of 2018?
I really enjoyed. Recently, we greeted a Nefesh B'Nefesh flight. We woke up early to go to the airport and waited at the tarmac for the people on the flight to come off. So we really greeted them. They came off straight off the plane. On Eretz Yisrael, we were screaming. We had Bruchim Aba'im signs. We danced with them. Everyone was dancing together. The Chayalot were dancing. The people who lived in Israel were dancing. We were dancing. The people who just moved there were dancing. It was the best experience ever, just to greet people.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. You're going to have young ladies in the future who will say they're living in Israel because of Michlelet,
I want to
right?
tell you, the day before we went to Nefesh B'Nefesh flight, someone came over to me in the dining room. She said, Ms. Yudin, I just want to thank you so much for everything you did and Michlelet and how much it made me. I want you to know I'm living here in Israel, raising my family here because of my experience on Michlelet. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm like, that is awesome. We're going Nefesh B'Nefesh. So it was
pretty
really
amazing.
very, very special.
How many years are you in Israel? You made
We
Aliyah.
made Aliyah 10 years ago now, thank God. And probably because of Mechela, because it got too hard to leave every summer.
Seriously?
I think so.
In
I
other
think
words,
it was
you
like we
did
came every
you
summer.
did it sort of in a long distance manner.
We did it long distance. I was teaching in SKA. My husband was in MTA and DRS, and we were living in Far Rockaway, and then it just got harder and harder to leave, and then we made the leap.
Amazing,
Thank
I'll
God.
tell you.
Really amazing.
So many of these experiences lead to Aliyah. They lead to the future of the Jewish people being in the state of Israel, which we, of course, always emphasize. It's really remarkable. Okay, so say it again. Sorry?
Should we have one of them tell us about the learning
Okay,
experience?
yeah, I'd like one of these young ladies, if you don't mind, to discuss the intensive learning program, because it's not unusual to see your students in the Beit Midrash at night, and
thank
they're
God.
doing a lot of extra work, and of course doing the regular classes. Will it be Racheli, Chani, or Rivka who's going to do this? Who's going to speak about the? Oh boy!
Ooh, they're getting closer.
They're certainly- I'm told, by the way, that the chassan is a Kollel Madrich who's an alum of TJJ. His name is David Sperber. David Sperber is the chassan, so we say Mazal Tov to him from all of us here at JMN. Do you want to designate one of these young ladies to say a word about?
What I really enjoy about the learning is that we all chose to be here. We all chose to learn.
It's a little hard.
The problem is we have a chassan and kala right in
Literally,
front of us.
right next to us.
That's the problem. You know, in the world of radio, we call that poor planning. You know that?
Seriously. Why not? So cute.
Wow.
Nice. Good timing.
You know what the irony is? They said to us, even when the celebration's going on, you can continue doing the show.
Yeah, wow. Well, we didn't know they plant themselves right here. So nice.
All right, we're going to try this one more time. Rivka of Chicago, Illinois.
Yes.
Give me a word about the Mechlela Torah Studies program.
What I really like about the Mechela Torah studies is that every girl that is here and in the Beit Midrash, everyone chose to be there. We all chose to make our summer meaningful. We all wanted to be here. And by wanting to be here, it just makes the learning so much more meaningful and better. We're not learning for a test. We're not learning to memorize. We're learning out of choice. We're learning because we want to grow. We want to make our summer better. We want to become better. And there are girls that choose at night to go to Beit Midrash. Making the choice to learn makes the learning so much more.
No question about it. Look, we joke and all, about the extracurricular activities being more fun, but the reality is that they're spending at least hours and hours a day doing this.
They are. It's so balanced. There's so many other things, but it's beautiful. You walk around. Sometimes I walk around the building. You see chaburas of girls and madrichot learning all over on the floor. It's the most beautiful thing because girls really get attached to it, and they don't always have that in school when they have the stress of everything else and tests.
We remember seeing it up close when we visited Mechlela last
Yes.
year. Mrs. Rivka Yudin directs Mechlela and brings these amazing young ladies to meet
Incredible.
us and our audience each year. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Continued Hatzlacha.
Amen. Enjoy.
Great to enjoy Shabbos Nachamu. I'm sure it'll be remarkable at Mechlela at Shabbos Nachamu. We're celebrating here at NCSY Kollel. We are celebrating because there's a chassan in the house. A reminder, this coming Sunday we'll be broadcasting from Camp Hask. This coming Sunday we broadcast from Camp Hask as they kick off an important Sunday and Monday. We'll give you all the details. We'll be there starting at 10 a.m. Eastern, 1 hour after JM Sunday here at the Nachum Segal Network. Make sure to be tuned in. Camp Hask, it'll dominate our programming Sunday and Monday here at JM in the AM. Mendy Werdiger's next, back with more from NCSY Kollel. Keep listening to JM in the AM on the Nachum Segal Network.
Bisholayim ahateres balo Gam Berino Uvitzalo Toich Emunei Aham Sigulo Oyi Chalo Shabbos Malkeso Oyi Bisholayim ahateres balo Gam Berino Uvitzalo Toy Emune Vevei Aham Sigulo Boyi Chalo Shabbos Malgezo
JM&A and Bo Yishalom done by Mendy Werdiger. Special shout out again to Rabbi Goldfisher and everybody at TJJ celebrating their 20th anniversary. How amazing is that? I am being bombarded by what I believe are Kollel participants, Kollel students who moments ago We're celebrating with a gentleman named David Sperber. Gentlemen, were you celebrating with David Sperber moments ago?
We were, yeah.
I don't know if you've heard the news. David Sperber's a chassan. Have you heard the news?
Yeah, we did hear the news.
You did hear the news.
Yeah.
And hence the dancing and the celebratory atmosphere at Kollel.
Yeah.
You thought it's because Thursday night Mishmar, Erev Shabbos Nachamu, but you had this added component tonight that was so exciting.
No, it's almost every night here, actually.
You're breaking into song every night for some reason. Are you Ami, Aaron, or Moshe?
I'm Aaron.
You're Aaron. Aaron Kraut of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Why would a young man from the steel town of Pittsburgh find it a good idea to come to Beit Meir and spend his summer at NCSY Kollel?
I was looking to grow a lot in Torah, and also I like to play ball. I'm a big baller, so.
Where do you spend your year?
During the year, you mean? In Pittsburgh, Kollel Academy of Pittsburgh.
Oh, very nice. Nice Jewish school.
Yes, very nice
Great.
Jewish school.
And what is it, Squirrel Hill, the neighborhood?
Squirrel Hill. My dad runs the school, so.
Oh, very nice. And where would you spend your summer typically? You'd be in some day camp or sleepaway camp somewhere?
Yeah, probably a counselor at a day camp.
And in this case, you said, I'm coming to Kollel.
I did.
I'm going to enhance my summer.
I'm going to enhance it, yes.
In an amazing way.
Incredible way.
How's it gone so far?
It's going amazing. It's incredible.
What's the day like here? Is it a good balance of the Torah, the Tiyulim, the sports, etc.? Would you say it's a good balance, or would you like me to speak to Rabbi Benovitz about accommodating you a little better?
No, it's fine. He's doing a great job.
It's working out well?
Yeah, he's doing amazing.
The schedule suits you?
Yeah, it's an awesome schedule.
You'll
Perfect
go
schedule.
back to Pittsburgh and say what about this summer?
I'll say it was the best summer ever.
Simple as that, huh? Ami, Mashiach.
Yeah, it's me.
I've never interviewed Mashiach before.
Neither have I.
Nice to see you. Ami is from Chicago, Illinois.
I am.
Are there other Chicago participants in Kollel this year?
There are campers and there are madrichim.
How has the word about Kollel gotten all the way to Illinois?
I guess they're really good at recruiting, but my brother's friend actually came here last year as a madrich and he recommended it to me.
Right. What have you enjoyed so far this summer? Any big highlights that I should know about? Has there been a special Shabbos or any other type of experience that stands out for you?
Actually, I'm in Rabbi Benovitz's Night Shader, which is actually super interesting. He's a great speaker, and he's actually inspired me so much.
Well, we're big fans of his. I believe you 100%, frankly. I don't even think you're exaggerating, even though he's sitting right here. And Moshe Lowe is here from Highland Park, New Jersey. Moshe, how are you?
Fantastic.
How did you hear about this Kollel program that Rabbi Benovitz is running all the way here, 6,000 miles from Highland Park, New Jersey?
My brother came here 3 summers and 2 summers ago, and a lot of kids in the school that I'm in, MTA, who are juniors, came back for a second year, and they told me that I have to come.
They forced you, huh?
Basically.
Any highlights for you so far? What can you tell us? What's been aside from tonight's big celebration with Chassan David Sperber, which was quite spirited, you'd have to admit, right? It was quite a spirit. Besides that, any other highlights that you'd like to point out this summer?
I mean, really, everything is a highlight, but like some of the best stuff are just like the chaburas with our madrichim and like the amazing tiyulim that we go on.
Give me an example of one of those tiyulim. Give me a trip that was really outstanding.
Nachal Darja, it was this crazy hike, and it was probably like the most intense thing, but one of the best things that I've ever done.
Kids from New Jersey like to hike?
I haven't always lived in New Jersey, but yeah, we do.
Well, it sounds like you're having a great time. Are you aware of what's happening tomorrow? There's a wonderful Shabbos Nachamu planned for you gentlemen. Yeah. Have you been told about it? None of it's a surprise. You've been given details.
No, Rabbi Benovitz takes like 22 minutes to speak, give announcements, so we definitely know about it.
So you've heard all of it at this point.
Yeah.
So are you anticipating a nice Shabbos?
Hopefully, yeah, definitely.
Should be great. Have you been to Tzfat before?
No.
This is the first time?
First time.
All right, come on. Tzfat for the first time. It's got to be something amazing.
Yes, it's going to be incredible.
What do you say?
It's going to be awesome. It's a 3-day tiyul. It's the first one. I was here last year. They didn't do nothing like this. It was crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
There's been an upgrade since last summer.
Definitely been an upgrade. There's actually going to be AC this time.
Rabbi Benovitz is on the hot seat, and he's not even in this conversation. How do you like that? Anyway, last question. I'd love for each of you to address it if possible. There are students here. And we've been concentrating on this, which is because I think it's amazing. There are campers here in NCSY Kollel who do not have a yeshiva background, who have not been. Can you believe? Because I sometimes find it hard to believe that public school kids of your age would want to come to a program like this.
I find it inspirational that they work hard like every day, and it's very hard for them. They don't have that background. They come and learn every day in the base medrash. It helps me out even with my learning.
Very cool. What do you say about it?
Well, my Rebbe last year told me to always come out of my comfort zone, and as hard as it was, I did it. So I understand how hard it is for these kids to do that and come out of your comfort zone and actually try something that they'd never even experienced before, anything like this in their life. So I am truly inspired by them also.
Very nice. I was wondering whether you guys noticed all this, and what would you say about it?
I mean, these kids are like the most special kids on Kollel. I mean, like just to like see two of them put on tefillin for the first time.
That was nice,
Like
huh?
their own pair. And then like there was one Friday we came back from Yerushalayim, and one of the kids, Jason, had bought a tefillin marker to repaint like his entire, like all the straps. And I walked into the base medrash and I saw that, and then I sat down next to him and we talked for like 20 minutes just about like why he liked tefillin, and like it's really amazing to see.
Amazing is right. Ami, Aaron, Moshe, thank you.
Thank
You have a
you.
whole
Thank you.
audience here. They're admiring. They're admiring the fact that you're representing Kollel so well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Congratulations. Thanks so
Thank
much
you
for
so
joining
much.
us.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy Shabbos Nachamu.
Thank
There
you.
they are, representing different areas of the United States here at Kollel. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. JM and the AM, as we start to wrap things up, Rabbi Benovitz helped kick things off many hours ago, a long, long time ago here during this Friday morning JM and the AM, and he helps us close things out here. By the way, I see some future Madrichim sitting here moments ago.
That could be. That could be a good training ground.
Weren't you a little, I don't know, inspired, or I don't want to say surprised, that wouldn't be fair, but weren't you happy that was their answer to the question of interacting with public school youth during the summer?
It's so unbelievably special when that happens, and it's the type of gift that works so well on both sides. You can't figure out who's gaining more and who's giving more, and it's just reciprocal in the most magical of ways.
Tell me about the background of this chassan. How many years was he with NCSY? I know that he's a TJJ
He grew up
grad,
in NCSY,
right?
actually in New Jersey, correct, and literally in the seat that you're sitting in. This is where we had our shiurim that summer for TJJ ambassadors. Walked in with a bus full of other of his peers, 2012, that summer, into this base medrash, right in this area where we're sitting right now. We sat and we learned together, and he never left. There were some breaks in between. He spent some summers back home after that, made his way to yeshiva in Israel, and then came to join us as a staff member.
So he and his future wife will be building, Bezrat Hashem, a Jewish home. All because of this. All because of
Listen, all because of them, and all because of the one above, and all because of a lot of things. But it's exciting that we've been the host of so many monumental moments in his journey, including that first day walking in as a member of TJJ Ambassadors, including the time that he was able to give back. He's one of the first ones to always run when those TJJ young men come into the base medrash to welcome them and to give them a little bit of a knowing smile and look. And
he knows what they're going through.
Let him know how it's going to end out up and what they can do. And obviously tonight, for us to be able to welcome just hours after his getting engaged, him and his kala here, there's no greater joy for us and no greater example for all of our NCSYers.
Did you hear how this summer is a big upgrade from last summer? You heard about
I did hear that.
They're getting ready for a big Tiyul tomorrow.
It's going to be amazing.
Heading up north to Tzvat, and as you said, spending Shabbos with some real personalities. That would be a favorable way to put it, right?
Sure.
Some real Jewish personalities.
Sure.
Filling the, what did you say, the Breslov Shul base medrash? What did you say?
Yes, we'll be in the Breslov base medrash for our Tish tomorrow night.
Right.
We'll be in this massive room with the great Motzei Shabbos Nachamu concert with Simply Tzvat.
Right.
It's going to be a wild party. What you saw tonight, just continuing and bringing it up to Tzvat, which is the place where it belongs.
And, for this audience, why don't we spend a minute just saying that music has a big role in all of this. We know that this is Torah-based, obviously, and that you have the distinction of being at the epicenter of the NCSY summer programs, especially the ones that are in Israel, because of the Torah. But Jewish music really has a big role in all of this, and that should be acknowledged.
It's one of the reasons why your being here and being a part of it is so special, because I don't know of a bigger champion of Jewish music and the role it plays in all of our lives. But there is a spirit that is beneath all of this, and that's always been what NCSY is about. And whether it's a Shabbaton or a Kumzitz in the dark, or a base medrash like this, where we've seen people learning throughout the night and studying traditional texts in a traditional way, and that own form of music, we call that a shira, we call that its own form of song. When you tap into that spirit, and we express that spirit through the singing and the dancing. Look, that's been what's made NCSY special for over 60 years, and it's such a big part of what we do. We're not NCSY Kollel by accident. We're NCSY through and through, with the people that we attract, with the accommodations that we make, with the thrills that we have, and with the spirit and the music that we have all the time.
I want to introduce you to somebody.
Yes.
I want to introduce you to somebody who's actually familiar to my audience because we've spoken about him on more than one occasion, trust me. To your left is Tyler Hode. Tyler has a lot of distinctions out there. I know you probably would trumpet the fact that he's very well versed in Torah and spends a lot. I can imagine how many hours he's here in the Beis Medrash. I would probably concentrate on the fact that he is one of the most amazing role models for Jewish youth. I have told him, because he's one of the stars of the Yeshiva University basketball team, I have told him that in my opinion, he might get more done as a Jewish leader by being a great starting point guard with a national presence than what he might be able to do in the Beis Medrash. I don't know if you agree with me, but I believe my point of view in this case is worthwhile.
It's the way it comes together. That's unbelievable. And I'll tell you something, I'll surprise you a little bit. I met Tyler neither on the court nor at NCSY Kollel. I had the distinct pleasure of learning with Tyler in Yeshivat Reshet Yerushalayim and seeing the way that his tenacity, his desire to grow, his desire to learn, all of the ingredients that make him the leader he is on the court and make all of us so incredibly proud of him. I saw him apply all of that in a Beis Medrash. To watch him play on the court is special. To watch him apply himself in a Beis Medrash is even more special. And his Talmidim, all the NCSYers that look up at him and follow him, both on the court and in the Beis Medrash, they're the winners in it.
Tyler, is it more fun to break down a defense or break down the Gemara and Rashi? Come on. I mean, come on. Tell the crowd that breaking down the defense is just as much of a challenge. Come on.
Yeah, both very challenging. Yeah, definitely. Both very challenging. Without a doubt, though, a little more chashivas than I get more of a geschmack feeling when I learn with the kids here. This is awesome. And also on the ball court here. Both ways. It's amazing.
Do you know that his team, and plenty has been said, and I am a first-hand witness for decades, plenty's been said about the Yeshiva University basketball team. Good, bad, positive, negative. Do you know that his team is studying Torah 15 minutes before each game in the locker room?
I do know.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
And then my kids and other kids, again, I believe have an amazing role model. And he's been able to accomplish so much in just representing the Jewish people really well. Him and his teammates, I should say.
Yes,
it's a very special group. You know what I have to say about your team. It's a very special group that take their role of being Jewish role models very, very seriously. Absolutely. Each on their own level. So Tyler, great to see you here. Are you here for the entire summer in NCSY Kollel?
Here for the entire 6 weeks.
As a madrich?
Yeah, first time madrich. Last year I was sports staff. And it's a great opportunity.
So from sports staff to madrich, that's the title of his book years from now. And someone like Tyler, the regular shiurim he's responsible for, or specific kids that he's responsible for, everyone's got their assignments.
That's right. All the madrichim have a group of 5 or 6 boys that they learn with on a regular basis. They prepare for months. It's spectacular what they're able to put together and how they're able to make the material relatable to the NCSYers in such a phenomenal way. Man. And look, when you have that type of personal example in front of you, it inspires you and it makes you want to do more and it makes you want to play in a certain way and it makes you want to learn in a certain way, it makes you want to live your life in a certain way, and that's what we're all about.
And they all want to be as good on the court as he is.
They wouldn't mind.
Right.
They wouldn't mind.
Tyler, continued hatzlacha to you, seriously. We wish you the best. Yeah. Our family loves you, and you know it.
Love you guys also. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Rai Benovitz, this has been amazing. I come in here every time we're here wondering what this show is going to be like, and I leave with the biggest smile because you give us an update about Jewish leadership and Jewish youth, which is just so wonderful. So thank you so much.
The future is very bright, and it's amazing that you're a part of it. We can't wait to have you back again.
Thank you very much. We'll start wrapping things up. We have a theme. It's time to say good Shabbos, and we've got to get it on the air and start wrapping things up. It is an Erev Shabbos Nachamu at JM in the AM. And everybody out there, I hope you've enjoyed this amazing visit with Rai Benovitz and everybody at Kollel, and of course all the other leaders that we've met, leaders and teens who are part of all the variety of programs that NCSY offers each summer. No joke when I say that David Cutler has announced that pre-registration for NCSY summer programs has already begun. Parents, take advantage. It's better to be early than late, that's for sure. Time to say good Shabbos with Journeys at JM in the AM.
So throw away your hammer, there's nothing left to do. Go on home and find a gift that's waiting there for you. Oh, it's time to say good Shabbos. 'cause all your work is done. Gonna spend a day together with the Holy One. Say a special blessing on a cup that's filled with wine. Man and his creator, it's a very special sign. Your candles will be burning, they'll fill your home with light, singing songs of Shabbos well into the night. So throw away your hammer, there's nothing left to do. Go on home and find a gift that's waiting there for you. Oh, it's time to say good Shabbos, 'cause all your work is done. Gonna spend the day together with the Holy One. Say a special blessing on a cup that's filled with wine. Man and his creator, it's a very special sign. You can spend time with your family, you'll study and you'll pray. Why not wait till after Shabbos? Oh, those nails won't run away. So throw away your hammer, there's nothing left to do. Go on home and find the gift that's waiting there for you. Oh, it's time to say good Shabbos, 'cause all your work is done. Gonna spend the day together with the Holy One. Say a special blessing on a cup that's filled with wine. Man and his creator, it's a very, 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 very special sign.
Achenu b'Yisrael and Achim Achem, our brothers and sisters in Israel, we are with you. It's your favorite America's one and only Jewish Moments in the Morning radio program, heard on listeners-sponsored digital radio around the world on the web at NachumSegal.com, on the Nachum Segal Network, and of course on the beloved NSN app. With a big reminder, this coming Sunday we are up at Camp Hask. That's right. This coming Sunday up at Camp Hask, we'd like to give a shout-out to a camper or to a counselor or a staff member up at Hask. Send us an email and make sure to include in the subject line Hask shout out. Also, don't forget that Harry Rothenberg's video blog and his Partners in Torah, Dvar Torah, is going to be part of our program on Friday, continues to be part of our program on Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Nachum Segal Network. We, of course, have our Kedem presentation of the Erev Shabbos music mix and plenty more coming up all through the day on this Erev Shabbos Nachamu. Matis Sunday morning with JM Sunday, and then we go to Hask, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, for what will be a Sunday and Monday broadcast up at Camp Hask. Big thank you to Avrami, a big thank you to Yoni, big thank you to Miriam Al-Wallach, and a big thank you to all of you for tuning in from NCSY Kollel on a Friday morning, Erev Shabbos. Nachum Segal reminding you, remember the past, live the present, and trust the future.